Hey everybody, welcome back to another rendition of Mirror Musk, episode 64, the Schmuel Buckman interview. And Mr. Schmuel, it is an honor to have you on today. How are you doing, sir?
Thanks, guys. I am glad to be here, I think.
It is an honor, bro.
Yeah,
And
it is.
yeah, like you coming on here, bro. You're probably our most requested guest we've ever had at this point.
That is true.
You really don't have to polish my knob, Chow. I came
I'm
here
not kidding.
voluntarily, and you can thank Mint Diggity. So
Well, and I think he was a big part of it, but I know a bunch of other people. Your rise, like you first came on the scene maybe like what was it? Like 12 months ago when you were popping up on Ray. And then ever since, you've built up like your own channel and like you're like the new wave, bro. So I'm loving what you're doing. So keep it up.
thanks. I don't really agree with you on that, but yeah, I'm happy with what's happened, and you can thank Dave Sarah for encouraging me to do this.
How did
Well,
you? Oh, go ahead, Chow. Go ahead.
Well, and that's the thing. I want to tie a little mirror into this because people are always hitting me up or hitting him up like, dude, you guys got to get Schmuel Buckman. And everyone, when they hear that name at first, they're like, what's that?
And you know, who's that? But what's that?
Who's that or what's that? You know, all this different type of stuff. And for the longest time, I was having a hard time even explaining it. So I was trying to tell Mir, like, and I might have said, like, Mir asked me if you were a fag, and I said, I don't know, kind of, but I know you're not. It was just kind of like, it means different things for our generation. So like,
right.
We meant no offense, but like you're hard to describe. You can't put you in a box. Like you're kind of a comic. You're kind of a street guy. You're kind of like a chick guy. There's all these different things.
He's a man of the people.
I'm just an old man.
You remind me of my grandfather. You're a man of the people.
And it was some stories are fun to talk about, some aren't. And I did a couple of things. Pat Dixon had me on a couple of times. Ray had me on a couple of times, and it resonated with people, and people had asked me to come on their shows, and I wasn't doing. I'm hard. I obviously don't have a face for this, so it was like, well, I don't really want to do it, and I don't think I have a voice to do it.
Yeah.
And then Dave and I started talking, and we had some phone calls, and it was like, man, we should put these up. And then it was like the next thing we knew, we started streaming, and then Dave gets busy, and then I had to do it alone, and it was like, all right, well, I committed to it, so I'm gonna do it. And it was just, it's been interesting, and I love the mix of hate that I get and love that I get.
Right.
Because you get a lot of hate, and I'm actually also surprised at how a lot of young people just despise, like, everything is boomer thing.
No, I love old people. I think old people are tough, man.
Yeah, well, I'm not that too old, and
You look.
I don't know how. Are you guys monetized or?
Yeah.
Or you
we
are?
just don't
Okay,
want to.
cool.
We just don't need money because we're not poor. Like
No, I didn't
else.
mean that. I mean, can I read the free chat? But yes, I am the guy. I
love
am
the
the guy
free chat.
from Lemon Party.
We're part of the people. This is a people's podcast.
Oh, well, I'm the Lemon Party guy. So
Well, I don't think you're getting as much hate because you're old. I think actually like that trend is boomers are kind of, it's going the other way now, where that's like kind of becoming the trend, where that's cool. So like I don't think it's that. I think everything gets very tribalistic. So that's another avenue of how you got into this game and how you gain notoriety is you're showing up at like Hackamania. And then I know with Ray once you did a live stream from DabbleCon. So you're like on the ground, but for us who are just watching on YouTube, we got to kind of see some of it, like what it's like going to these things. So I really appreciated that. So you're deep into that game and you can break all that down. But then you also have like these stories of like, oh, I know you've talked about being enlisted or you're in the military.
I was enlisted. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were like, you have different things that you can mix in. Yeah. So I fuck with it now, bro. I
like that. So you're a military grunt. I like that.
I was only in for 4 years. I like the Dabbleverse, but it's not my life, And Dave and I, of course, we were talking Dabbleverse stuff because that's where we knew each other from, and would talk about podcasters and shit. But then when we got on, we would get into arguments about other stuff. So that was the
Everyone's laughing at that chat.
That was
was-
pretty.
that was
That
the
was
fun
pretty good.
part.
Stealth the Akos
Which-
roasted your ass. That's pretty good, bro. That was pretty good.
Everyone's
Which one roasted my ass here? I'm sorry.
Stell said thank you for your table service.
Oh, I gotcha. Thank you.
But
Oh, I
Dave,
see
sorry,
the
sorry,
Milton-
sorry.
Yeah, continue.
We're
Sorry, that was
listening,
too
we're
good.
listening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
I started
listening.
laughing, and Mir did. So
That's
Anyway, so
fun.
you were a grunt in the military, right? No, go ahead.
Nah, well, I was not in the grunt service. Let's put it that way.
All right.
I had a very easy time of it. So
Easy time. Military's easy. I heard that shit was hardcore, especially back in your day.
depends upon where you are and what you are. No, man, you gotta remember that I was in like
Vietnam?
1980-ish.
Okay.
Right. So this is post Vietnam,
Steel curtain going down.
post Vietnam, post Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
And the military was a mess. Like, it was a mess. They just lost the war. Carter was horrible for them. And so there was a lot of time. There was a lot of transition. So there was a lot of stuff where I got away with stuff that I would never have gotten away with had I been in 8 years later or 8 years before.
Right. Like I heard in the 80s, like people were smoking hash, like when they were deployed at certain areas. I mean, the only like real thing I really got from the 80s was bombing Syria during that time period, honestly. Because I know
Yeah,
we
like
bombed
our-
them in 85, 86.
I think, and we invaded Grenada.
Yeah, right.
We had when did the Iran rescue thing was like 78, 79, something
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was. Yeah.
And yeah, but you didn't have to be deployed to be smoking hash. Like,
Oh, no, of course not. Yeah.
no, I'm kidding, Mir. I'm kidding. I mean, it was just
Jesus, I know I'm gonna, let's roll with
was-
it.
It was
Fuck, old
it
man,
was
come
sort of,
on.
it was sort of a thing back then, you know? And I was in a branch in the military. I was in the Air Force, it's like, it's the Air Force, you know? They don't
Where-
call it the Chair Force for a reason.
Where were you
know? And-
stationed in the Air Force?
And they say Florida, Niagara Falls, and then
Mm.
went to was in Panama and some other places during that time.
For your tour, were you just stationed in Panama and those other like
No,
American side,
I
or were
was
you in
for
Europe?
almost the whole thing. I was in Florida. I was either in
Really?
Northwest Florida or which is now a Space Force base, Patrick Air Force Base, and but I did, you know, the part of my time I was on flying status. I was flying as a medic, so it was
Okay.
we would go to different places, but I wasn't one of the guys. So the Air Force has a very elaborate air ambulance system, and I wasn't part
Right.
of that. I was part of an air evac unit whose job it was to fly into hot zones and take the wounded out, right? But the deal is there was no war. So
Right.
all of our hot zones were
Florida.
mostly made up, you know, it was training
training.
exercises and stuff. And most of our training time, other than straight medical training time, was chemical weapons and nuclear fallout protection, like how to protect ourselves during that. Like,
Ow.
if we were in a plane and you flew through, you know, nuclear fallout, what would you do, kind of thing.
How old were you in the military? Were you in your 20s or 30s?
I was 17.
So, okay. Wow.
I
Shit.
went
So
in
you're,
when I was 17. I went in the day after high school.
so shit, you're like what, 58, 57?
62.
Oh, okay. So you're in your
Right.
60s. Damn. All right. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Hey, either
We-
way, I do want to show like reverence.
Right.
Thank you for
And I
this.
may be off by a year or two. There's no reverence. That's like the whole thing is
No, you did what if we went into war though, your life would be put on the line. And I do respect you for at least putting yourself in that possible situation that could happen. So thank you for
Right.
at least giving your the cojones to actually do what a lot of us couldn't do. So
Did
thank
Yeah,
you
I thought I'll tell you, I didn't join for patriotic reasons or any of those reasons. I joined because I had everybody says they had a horrible childhood. Mine was bad. And I was not going anywhere.
We'll get
And
into
it was
that. Yeah.
like, I'm going to join, this will get me the fuck out of town, you know?
Yeah.
And that was the deal. And I mean, I chose, was delayed enlistment. I chose to be a medic, right? Like,
Why a medic? Why a medic though?
I certainly I just went the easiest routes. If
Oh.
I had it to do all over again, I wouldn't have done that because it didn't serve me in my life post-military. But it seemed like a thing to do at the time.
Okay.
You know, I didn't understand that the first year of my career I was going to be wiping assholes and cleaning up old men and putting in
Right.
Foley catheters and things like that. The later time was fun when I got to sew people up and, you know, do more advanced stuff. But
Right. Like
yeah.
soap baths. Yeah.
Did you so were you out by like Fort Walton Beach and Destin in that area in Florida?
One of the places, yeah, that's Eglin Air Force Base.
Yeah, I lived down there and I still got a place down there, so I know that area well. It's changed a lot, but it's still
Holy
popping for
shit,
that.
has it changed?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I hadn't been there in 25 years, and we had a reunion, and one of my buddies, the best man at my wedding, lives in Navarre, and
Okay.
so we went down, and Destin is completely different. There was nothing. Destin was desolate when I was there. It was empty.
Not anymore.
Yeah, PCB is popping crazy.
Yeah,
and all the way down that whole way on 98
yeah,
is
and there's
crazy over
like,
there.
I drove down. I went to the very funny ozone. I went to the what do you call it? To the Final Four in New Orleans a couple of years ago, and had the only flight I could get was to Panama City. So I flew into Panama City, and Mrs. B and I drove to New Orleans. And on the drive back, I paid more attention, and we stopped, and it was like this watercolors town.
Yeah, that's over by 30A on 30A beaches over by that's super dank over there. I go down there all the time.
And you know, just all those places were beautiful, and they were nice back when they were nice when I was back then, but it was not the tourist thing it was now. It was not as popular.
Right.
And you know, that whole from Fort Walton, right, Highway 98, right? So from Okaloosa Island to Pensacola, which is the western panhandle, was pretty empty. You know, I think there were 30,000 people in all of Okaloosa County when I was there. I could be wrong about that, but now it's like, holy shit, is it crowded? And
it's good.
and it's a fun place to live. Like, you know, when you're 17 and you're going to Florida, lower Alabama is not what you expected, right?
What's your take on New Smyrna Beach?
I don't even know what that is.
Florida?
Where's that?
Yeah, that's
like rich area. That's like richer,
Isn't that
right?
like the West Coast? Like
yeah, that's on
it's East Coast, man.
the golf. Isn't that on the golf side? Is that on the golf?
No. It's right by right as you enter. It's shit. If you pull up a map, you can look at New Smyrna. It's kind of like it's like right on the middle.
Of Georgia.
Yeah, you're a little bit south of Georgia. Yeah, you're about an hour and a half out from Georgia. It's like full of super rich Jewish people and Christians. Like it's really weird. It's very Christian and Jewish in that community, and there's just super rich people.
That whole area is very religious.
Oh yeah,
I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking.
It was even super religious. Like where the military. I don't know if it still is, but the military was very religious.
Really, back in the 80s.
Oh yeah, because it's I don't know what the numbers are, but the bulk of people that join the military are from the South.
Yeah, they're hillbillies.
And, you know, and they tend to be a lot more, say, Christian or whatever than we are up here. And you know, back then it wasn't like it was today. I mean, you didn't have people joining then because they wanted to express their sexuality.
Transgenders, gays, and all that.
You know, you didn't do it to be different. You did it to be the same, right? Like, you didn't fit in, and this was a place where you're
part of God's army.
Well,
like the Crusaders.
Look, it's a little weird. I was like an atheist since I've been a kid, and
that's not good.
And
we'll get into that.
The funny part is, like, I grew up in New York in Queens and Manhattan. I went to high school in Manhattan, and so
Yeah.
everybody was either basically Catholic or Jewish. I mean, that was the two of the,
Yeah.
you were
Yep.
one of those two things. And
Right.
so you either had priests or you had rabbis, both of which were very educated, a lot of tradition, a lot of form.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
you go down south and every third person is a reverend.
Fuck
You
them.
know?
Yeah, a lot of reverend motherfuckers. I get it.
And like the guy who was in charge of the immunization clinic at the hospital I worked was
Disgust. Yeah.
the guy's name. No, he's fine. His name was Obi, and he was but he was Reverend Obi, and he used to preach on the weekends. Nice guy.
Mm.
Always, would take my arm and try to
Hold
talk me
you.
into things. But no, he was good. But he was look, he was a good guy. Like that's the difference, right? Like my experience with those people was they were positive for the most part. It wasn't until later on, like, when the moral majority took hold and
What does that mean? What do you
some
mean
of the
took hold?
crazy,
Who took hold?
well, Jerry Falwell and he was the head of the moral majority. Pat, the fuck is his name? The guy from the Christian Broadcasting Network.
Wait, what is this? Is this Mormon? What is this you're talking
No,
about?
it's Christian.
So what is this? Is these like TV people?
Like a
who,
TV type thing.
dude, those
TV
people are
guys, but-
garbage. Why? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I mean, and I agree with you 100%. Not all of them are garbage, right? But what was happening was the country had gone like way liberal. I mean, Alabama, I think, elected its first Democratic senator during Carter, that it ever had.
Right.
And these people were
Kentucky.
trying to get it back,
Yeah.
And so it was interesting, but like anything else, it goes too far.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, hey man, if you want to wear a dress and all that shit, I'm down with that. That's cool to me.
You
But
like
if
that?
you want to lop off 14-year-old girls' breasts, you lose me.
See, that's the thing though. When you start normalizing people wearing dresses, that kind of goes towards that, and then you allow that conversation for that to happen.
Right,
It's like
but we also
it's
don't
like you
wanna
allow a lion
normalize-
in because the lion says, "Hey, I'm not hungry for cheap." You're like, "Okay," then you come on in and hang out, and then
Right, but we also don't want
once
to
in a while he
normalize
gets hungry for
smacking
cheap.
women around. So it goes the
Sean-
other way as well.
I mean, sometimes a bitch needs to be slapped, bro. Sometimes they talk too much.
Everybody talks too much.
Exactly. So you need to beat the bastards, and you need to
Nah.
beat the bitches.
You can't do
There's
it.
a-
Pat Robertson, thank you, Tuna Town.
Yeah, it's a different time now, but that must back. Mir, do you ever think like it was like when Buckman was growing up, it was better? I've been
Yes,
thinking about that lately.
110%. And this is why I hate when people say, "Oh, the boomers," and I say, you know what? Shut the fuck up. You don't understand this, because when I talk to every single boomer, 60, 80-year-old motherfucker out there who went to Vietnam or Grenada, they all.
Go ahead.
All right, calm down, Adam Sandler. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I respect you guys because you guys lived in a time in a world of reading books, like not fucking comic books or Captain Underpants, actual true novels or true, types of literature, and or communicating within your community. So your communities were tight to the point where you guys actually trusted each other, believed each other, weren't locking your doors at night. Nowadays, it's so infiltrated and so put down with garbage that it's really affected the mindset of U.S. citizens that today that I actually feel disturbed. Like, I hate that I have to like roll up my windows and hopefully have a exit plan whenever I go into a restaurant, whenever I go into this, whenever I go into that, because it's so sketched out nowadays. It's horrible.
See,
and even homeless people, hang on, even vagabonders and homeless people. Back in the day, homeless people were really in need. Vagabonders, this and this and that, and you would lend out a helping hand, right? You give them a ride, take them where they need to go. There's no issue, no nothing. Nowadays, they're asking crazy shit. They might fucking kill you. All this weird shit. You could put your kids out at night, riding bicycles, doing this, doing that until the lights came on, whatever. Nowadays, you got to worry about pedophiles fucking raping and killing your children and shit. There's more mental health issues in America than I've ever seen before back in the day.
well, yeah,
On a larger scale. That's
Look,
been
the difference
reported.
between homeless then and homeless now was mental health is mental
Definitely.
health,
Yeah,
right?
it is
Because
mental health. Yeah.
when I was a kid, if you were a mental case, they'd lock you up,
Yes,
right?
and we got rid
They'd
of
put
those.
you in an institution,
We
and
got
then
rid
there
of
was
those.
this whole thing of mainstreaming. We took all those people out,
Yeah.
and
The
now
asylums are
I'm
gone.
I'm supposed to feel bad for those people, and I think that we make it worse by not not locking them up. I think is worse for them than it is
Yes,
for me.
I
There's
agree.
a guy 5 blocks from here near me who weighs like 400 pounds, and
Yeah,
he's obviously crazy. He's a
yeah.
white guy, by the way, and he's got like
Perfect.
7 bags, big giant garbage bags that he carries with him and everything else. You can't tell me that that's a better life for him than it would be if we stuck him in, some
Asylum, a
facility
mental
somewhere
asylum.
where he could go out and sit on a park bench in the facility and not be robbed of his shoes and shit, But hey,
Yeah.
what do I know?
No, you're right. And I have a question for you also though. As a younger child, and as a teenager too, growing up in America nowadays, and now you're an adult, you've seen what other children and adults, I mean teenagers go through and young children. What do you think is kind of like I would say missing from their childhoods beforehand, where they could truly, just feel a part of the community, because you got the tablets now, kids are just glued to TVs and shit. You have all this imagery going on, other things dictating shit besides your parents and possible trusted school teachers.
I think,
Do
look,
you
man,
think it's
I think
collapsing somewhat of society?
everything's on a spectrum, right?
Sure.
So when I was a kid, you could be getting diddled, smacked around at home, all sorts of shit could be happening to you, and nobody would do anything about it.
Right. It's
Everybody
not their
kept quiet
business.
about it. I mean, think about just the Catholic Church, right? Think of how long that was going on, and nobody did anything about
Right.
it.
With the human, there's sin. Yes.
And then the problem is, you then go all the way over to the right or the left, whatever part of the spectrum you want to be on. So there was that. And then you go to this thing where you're afraid to let your kid go to the bodega on the corner
Right.
because somebody said hello to your kid, and then that guy's obviously a pedo,
Yeah.
right? So
Well, yeah, and on that note, I think there's trade-offs like you guys were talking about, and I think security now with cameras everywhere, and that is created a different dynamic. But then with all the content and videos and screen time, like you guys are saying, then the perception that maybe you're just seeing more of the crime
You are,
versus
yeah.
back
You
in the
wouldn't,
day,
yeah.
or you're hearing about more news stories from different small towns and cities that you wouldn't even know existed if you didn't have a cell phone. So there's a combination, I think. But
And it's sad. I think it's robbing. Like, I remember one time I almost got picked up as a kid. I don't think I ever told you this, Chow. I was in my neighborhood, and beforehand I tell this story, I was told multiple times by my mother at a very young age, never trust someone that says, just hop in my car that I don't know. With good and who I don't know personally. This guy pulled up to me in my nice, upper middle class neighborhood in a beat up pickup truck. I'm like probably 12 years old, and he says, "Hey man, get in my car. Hey man, what you doing?" I was like, "Hey, I'm walking," because I like to take walks in my neighborhood, And he said, "Why don't you hop in my truck? I'll give you a ride." And I said, "I don't want to do that. I'm good. Thank you, sir." And he said, No, come on. Where are you going? I'll take you right to your parents' house. No problem. You don't have to walk." I said, No, thank you. I'll walk. And he said, No, just get in the truck. Let's go. He said, "I'll take you right to your parents' house. Tell me where your parents' house is. I'll take you there right now." I said, "No, thank you, sir. I'm just gonna keep going." He said, "Are you for real? Come on, just get in the truck. Come on." And he's some fucking like hillbilly looking motherfucker in a beat up fucking truck. And I'm not fucking joking about this.
maybe
And
he
I
was
thought,
Amish or something, bro.
no,
Did
not
you get in the
Amish.
truck?
Yeah, I got it. No, I'm not a dumbass. All right. I was raised properly to not trust motherfuckers because of this shit. I told him no, and he said, "All right." I said, "I can take you home." I said, "No." And then he just drove off out of the neighborhood. And I swear to Christ, if I would have gone that truck, I bet I'd be stuck in someone's basement being raped, tortured or whatever, dude, because
What
that was
happened
not a good
after that? Who
person.
did you tell about it?
I told my mom, and she called the cops, and they had to like they said, "Well, look out for that person in that area, whatnot." So All I'm saying is those people are out there, and I think you need to raise your children to understand, like, hey, you're never safe, but at the same time, like, it's okay to go outside. You can't be scared to go outside.
Right. So my, similar story, right? The part of Queens that I lived in was very, to use the term, underserved transportation wise. And like I would hang out in one neighborhood and then to get home, it would be a fucking bitch. It could be an hour and a half to go, 10 miles just because of the way things were.
Sure.
And so I hitchhiked a lot. And one night I was hitching and a guy picked me up and everything was decent about the guy. The car was decent. It was all decent. He was
Right.
wearing one of those little poppies, speaking of Dabbleverse, but he's wearing one of the little red poppies,
Is that for Shriners?
veterans, I think it was, or
Okay.
something, one of those things, right? But anyway, I get in the car, and then what happens is so you leave. The deal is to get to this place. You went through this giant empty area, really long empty area. Then you drove through a big park, and eventually back into civilization. And this
Right.
guy started telling me 5 minutes or less after I got in the car about how he read an article in Playboy that the best blowjob this guy ever got was from his college roommate, and it didn't make you gay, and all that stuff. And then he made the moves on me.
No,
Now,
he
in
didn't.
his
What did he do first?
car-
What did he do first in his car? What's the move first he did that you remember?
He was just chit chat. He was like, "Hey, like, what's going on?" He was, like, a nice enough guy.
Like, did he touch
And then
you?
the next thing I know, the conversation went to Playboy stuff. Now I'm like 14 years old at the
Did he
time,
touch
or
you?
15. I don't really remember every detail
You blocked that
like
out.
of exact conversation. But this is the thing, man. So then this guy was like, "How about it? How about it?" And I'm like, "Let me out of the car. Let me out of the car." Then the thing I do remember is the car had those, the old timey,
Where you could
pull
pull
up
'em
and
up.
push down locks, and
Yeah.
I was going to jump out of the car at 50 miles, 30 miles.
Fuck yeah,
whatever
dude.
was,
Fuck it.
speed
You'd
limit.
rather be
I'm like,
crippled.
I'm fucking going,
Yeah.
And anyway, the dude let me out. Nothing happened. He let me out. I went home. I was totally freaked out.
Yeah,
Totally.
dude. Fucking
And
people are nuts.
scared, and like I get goosebumps now thinking about it. But the deal was I couldn't tell anybody, because if I told anybody,
What?
I was going to get in so much trouble for hitchhiking.
Oh, yeah.
That was the thing. So you couldn't tell anybody. And these guys, I feel like they counted on that. It was like the priests, the same thing. You wouldn't tell anybody because of the way it was going to look at you. So look, it's great to me now that we can talk about it, that you could go home and tell your mother and she could call the cops, right?
Yeah, because it was bad.
But
Because
that
I didn't
didn't
get in the
happen.
car. Well, why'd you hitchhike if you knew it was bad to do?
Because the odds of me hitchhiking and getting caught, getting in trouble like that, it had never happened to me before.
But you rolled the fucking dice, dog. I wouldn't even want to roll the dice to
Dude,
get hitchhike.
I hitchhiked all across the South. I've hitchhiked from
But it takes that
as
one
far
time,
as
dude.
Mississippi. I hitchhiked from Biloxi to Fort Walton.
Yes, but it takes that one time to get
as
fucking brutally raped, murdered, and have your fucking body cut into pieces, thrown into the fucking woods on the side of the Highway 70.
I get it. We all, though, like hitchhiking wasn't, I don't know, man. You would hear those stories, but you would always think they were going to happen to somebody else.
Yeah,
right?
that's why I never even
always
took a
thought-
chance.
You thought you could take her, right? But it wasn't. We didn't talk about it, right? So it was like you didn't hear about it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a topic of conversation. It wasn't popular, and it really happens. Like
It's rare, yeah.
So you figure like, oh, it's not, it's not going to happen to me. And I mean, the dude did let me out of the car, right?
Right, he wasn't that you're lucky he wasn't that psychopathic point where he like grabbed you, wrapped you around a tree, and raped your genitalia. Like you're lucky that didn't happen.
I mean, and we did one time. I was a really little kid, and my brother is 3 years younger than me. We were playing in front of the house, and a guy drove up, and it wasn't sex, but he drove up and he said, "Hey, are you like Dave?" And no, I'm Schmuel. And he's like, "Oh yeah, Schmuel, you're the one I'm looking for, right? Your mother asked me to come by and pick up her pocketbook for her."
Oh fuck.
right?
You do it? I bet you did it, didn't
No,
you?
but my little brother ran right into that fucking house.
That's
grabbed the
me.
pocketbook
That's
and came
me.
out and gave
Oh
it
wait,
to
no,
the
it's
guy.
not me. That's not me. No,
And
bro.
so it was like, it's and I'm gonna bet that the number of kids that disappeared today
It's
is
sad.
probably per capita the same as it was then.
It is.
And most of the
It's
stuff that
sad.
happens today is same as it was then. But then you
So
didn't talk
gross.
about it, and then you
Mhm.
didn't know about it. But also nobody was afraid. Like for me at least, you know,
I was afraid, bro.
you got kicked out of the house. It was like, go play with your after
Yeah,
school.
I remember. Yeah, I got kicked out too. Yeah.
You know, you weren't allowed to stay home, and we didn't have video games where we could do things. I wasn't allowed to watch TV
Oh shit. Okay.
until like nighttime. And I've joked around about like I don't really know Saturday morning cartoons because my dad was a guy who was like, "Hey, if you're gonna stay home and watch TV, you're gonna do chores."
Oh
And
yeah.
you could go out and you know, they'd like
You're gonna
intramural
do the ladder.
basketball, CYO, JWV. You know, these guys, they had all these things. So it was like, what would you rather do, right? Would you rather be me and warm a bench at a basketball game, or would you like to be mopping the kitchen? So, you know, the choice wasn't that hard.
Right.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry.
What are you sorry about?
Just you having to deal with pedophilia as a young child. I'm like, that's
No,
disturbing.
you escaped, bro.
Like he escaped. You escaped. I escaped. Chow, have you ever escaped like someone sexually about to assault you as a child? Or a
I was
young
trying to
teenager?
think of
I have
anything
escaped at once. So let's see.
yeah.
Have you?
No, I mean
You ever had a
I tried
faggot
to-
come up to you and try to grab your dick as a young man? You ever had that going on for you too?
No, not really. Not that I can really recall. I mean, like I had a feeling of something like when you were telling your story, Buckman, of like the guy driving up, like it kind of like triggered something of like something like that happening once where like some guy drove up and like said some dumbass
Weird shit.
Yeah, where I was like, what? You know, like
You're like, hang on a second, man.
and
What?
it was off-putting.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything like particular, but yeah.
And-
I mean,
and-
Mir, when you're talking about the
What's up?
the perception of things, it was just different too about
Yeah.
hitchhiking. I think you're over like today, basically, like they have Uber, right? Like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you would never be like, yeah, there's just going to be like a thing where people are you just get in other people's cars nonstop and drive around, and they drive you from like the gas station to the grocery store, or whatever.
Fuck no, dude. Fuck that shit. Yeah, it's over now.
It's
That shit's
common
over.
now. No, I mean, like it still
But
goes,
we also didn't
you know?
have money as kids, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's different. Kids have money now for different
and
shit.
like
Ugh.
from what I see now, parents like have the kids have a credit card or like an Uber account, you know, and the parents paid the bill. I mean, I could imagine me having taken a taxi or an Uber or something and just like, what the fuck are you like? What are you spending your money like this money on? And it was a very different time, man. I put myself in a lot of dangerous situations,
I'm sure you
but
have.
not because I have any balls, just because I'm stupid. And
Schmuel, I got a question for you, Schmuel. So, how do I ask this properly?
just ask it the way you want to ask it, dude. If I don't want to
hang
answer
on.
it, I
Calm
won't if I
down
can.
there. Calm down there. All right. Let's just
I
calm
got
down
it,
for
I
a
got it.
second. You're
Well,
on
this
edge.
is supposedly you trolling me, so
I'm not
so-
trolling you. I'm trying to really
I know.
think about
I'm
this.
kidding.
Jesus.
Being an old
Jesus.
man in this universe is like being a child. Everybody wants to protect you. So when I said I was going on your show,
What?
4
What do
people
say?
DM'd me and were like, "You're being trolled. Are you sure you want to do that?" And I'm like, "I can handle it."
It's not
Anyway.
being trolled. Anyway.
I know.
so-
Dude. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
All right, so I kind of want to like dive into your past. I don't know how a lot of people have done this. So, you said your family life wasn't the best growing up. What about it was like truly like temperamental to you growing up as an adult, and how it affected you, how you react in your relationship as an adult with your significant other? You know what I'm saying? Because I've heard this before from other people. I'm not going to say this is true and that you prefer threesomes, you do those other weird shit. I'm not going to say that's true or not. All I'm going to say is that as a child conceiving what your parents have done in your childhood, and you told me, you said that you've had some issues in your childhood to the point to where it kind of affected you, and now as an adult, how have those issues that affected you have portrayed onto your life as an adult with your significant other and your realm of like just
Well,
yourself?
I mean, I'm on my third marriage, so
That's an
obviously,
issue.
right? Obviously, the first one, I was very young, and it was stupid, and it didn't
Yeah,
matter. But
sure.
the second one, I completely blew up because look, I didn't know how. I was I I could alternate between being very needy, like emotionally very needy, and
What started that? Was it your family? Like
yeah,
here,
I didn't because
yeah,
for the deals. I mean, I don't know how much I want to get into this, but my mother
everything.
my mother was having an affair with a local person who you would not expect,
The milkman.
a local authority figure. And that
Okay.
went on for years and years and years, and it fucked up my parents' relationship, and then they wound up divorced, and my dad didn't know how to handle it, and or a lot of that stuff. And it was like I was always looking for attention, and I was always looking for affection, and I always wanted to be wanted. And so I would do a lot of things, particularly the affection thing. you know I would want I would latch on to, like, with girlfriends. I would like latch on, and I could become very needy, but at the
Right.
same time I was like angry that I was there.
So you were like, hey, look at me, hey, like pay attention to me, but at the same time you're like, fuck you, bitch, type of vibe. Because your
It
anger,
was it was more sitting there. It was more the deeper
where'd
thought,
the
the
anger
more
come
like
from?
I can't do this. I can't do this. And I mean,
Oh, okay.
at one point I dated somebody for 7 or 8 years, and there's zero reason I shouldn't have married her and moved on. And she's become very successful. Um,
Mhm.
but I would find little things wrong with her. Um,
All right.
and I didn't know who I was, so I was like not successful. I mean, I didn't start really becoming who I am today until I was in my mid 30s.
I respect
Uh,
it. Yeah, of
when I
course. I mean,
start,
yeah, as a young man in modern day, yeah, it doesn't really happen until your 30s or late 20s.
but I was a fucking loser. I mean,
Well, I mean, you were in the
John's
military, so you can't be a
440
loser, right?
John's 440 credit score was post-military, but John's 440 credit score would have been something I would have aspired to, back then.
Jesus. Yeah.
And
Oh,
you
those
know, you
days,
need
like your degeneracy, can you get into some of that? Like, because I mean, I know I don't want to like put all your business, but I've heard you talk about different stuff on your show and the chat's saying stuff. But I know like you've talked about like
I mean,
drinking
yeah, like just
and
be
hooking
honest,
up with
dude.
women.
Like
So if
here's
you,
here go ahead. Like Chow's honest, like Chow's being honest with you here. Like just be honest as a man. Like what's going on with your life? Like what's the debauchery you're talking about? Because you put it out there,
well,
you're on the
you
internet.
guys think of it as debauchery, but
Okay, then what is it?
having been in a threesome or two, uh, is
It is debauchery.
probably pretty normal for
Dude.
when for for my time. You know,
yeah,
Okay.
back
Okay.
then, before
I
that was like before
Sure.
HIV was really big, you know.
no, no, no.
They
This
didn't
was
even know
way.
about it back then,
This
bro.
was
They did it.
this was
AIDS, nothing.
no, man. This
The
was
Freddie
like
Mercury got it.
AIDS. Look, I lost a bunch of friends to AIDS. And
Yes.
you know, this is to me like having a threesome was not debauchery, but like I knew guys that could have sex 15, 20 times a night. Like they would go to clubs and just get, ass fucked over and over,
Was your
and
wife
literally
oh, go ahead.
go out to a restaurant, and the guy would walk to the bathroom and come back 15 minutes later, and it's because he had sex with another dude in there,
Fucking
but then was
disgusting.
going to happen later on, and whatnot. And you were like, that was debauchery to me.
Different spectrum, you know, for like Mir being like where he's at, like, you know,
It's
even just
fucking
like
disgusting.
interracial is crazy, you know.
Interracial is disgusting to me. Anyway,
That's stupid. But that's just stupid. I'm sorry.
why
But
is
it's
that
just
stupid? Why? No. You know what's stupid to me,
Younger
Schmuely?
generation.
Is that this? You know what? I'm not even gonna get into
No,
interracial with you right now because you obviously seem like you're okay with threesomes. Because hang on before you know what? Let's grant me some grace here. Before I answer the debauchery of interracialism, how about you grant me the aspect of were you married in the aspect of threesomes or were you a participant of or of a married couple performing threesomes?
I was
Did you
probably it
allow
was
your wife
pre.
to get fucked by other men or did you fuck other
No, no,
wives
no, no,
men?
no, 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 no,
Okay.
no. Have I been cheated on?
I'm not asking
Yes.
that. I'm not asking that. You said
Right?
threesomes
But
are
no,
okay.
no,
You were
no,
very
no,
defensive
no.
about that.
No, 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 no. This was just like, it came up. I was with a girlfriend. I had an old girlfriend.
Okay.
We met at a bar. It was sort of accidental. They kind of became friends, and essentially they talked me into it.
They
You
talked you
know,
into a threesome. You didn't have any
and
morals. You
both
just
of
got
those
talked
women are
into it.
now married with kids, and if they knew I was telling the story, would lose their fucking minds.
Okay.
But you know, and but the AIDS thing was really weird because what happened is they sold us that as a universal disease,
Dr.
right?
Fauci did. He did. Dr. Fauci did. He was
Well,
the prevalent on that. He was the pusher on that in America. He was.
all right. I look. I don't remember Fauci. I remember AIDS being a bad thing. I don't think that they pushed it on us
They
as much
did.
as they didn't know um, a lot about the transmission and all that. And I also don't
Yeah.
think that these guys could understand like what was going on in places like New York and San Francisco. Like they didn't understand that these gay guys were
We're
just
fucking horny and
rando
spreading.
sex,
Yeah.
10 times a day.
Fucking monkeys, all that shit, bro. I get it.
Right. And you would also have guys that were well, fucking, that's not really, but whatever. But you would have dudes that there were a lot of
Their dicks were.
men that were
Yeah.
like married with children,
It's no, my
who were
go ahead.
coming down with it and swearing they weren't gay. And it was like, oh, they must have gotten it from a girl they were cheating with or something like that.
from a
So,
bat. Yeah.
you know, Tuna here has it. So he has, bathhouses. And
It was a
if you've
different time.
Roman
you've
times.
seen, oh God, the show. So there's a show about Truman Capote, right? A recent one with a bunch of old actresses and stuff. And
Yeah.
he goes to like a bathhouse and he's there, and then him and this guy, like, he just walks in and they have sex, and it's just like, and those were all over. And then when Koch tried to close them, they fucking went nuts over it, and because it's us, this is what we do, and you're trying to make us evil. And I think the disease was so scary that they didn't want to put it on this one group. They wanted everybody to think that you could possibly get it. And I don't think there would, not unlike this recent thing that we went through. I don't think they were trying to push something that wasn't true
It's
on
not.
you.
It's.
I think that they were scared that they didn't know how it spread. and
Chad,
they
have you been
really
in threesomes before?
Nah, bro.
Has your wife been fucked by another man while you've been married to her, or you've been in a threesome with another woman with your wife there, or another man there? Have you had that?
Nah, bro. No Tomo, bro. No steel toe
Okay,
for me,
so
bro.
Schmuel, the issue is like this is not like I don't even want to get into threesomes because this shit's already like garbage to me because I never would do it. It's just that the aspect is it's not because of the man because the man can fuck a woman and not give a fuck, right? Like within the next 20 seconds after he comes, right? Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Okay. When a woman fucks a man or when a woman sees another woman fuck her man and have him come to her or whatever, they're fucked up mentally, right? It kind of triggers something. If you don't like, that's honesty there.
But that's how
So
the threesome story
yeah,
came up.
I know. So all I'm saying is, as men, we need to understand these fucking dumb bitches need to understand that even though they say, well, we want a threesome, we want to be in a threesome, let's run it a little bit with another female. They needed to be told, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. You need to calm down. And us as a man need to say, you will not have this because this is debauchery, it is evil, and it's going to go against you. It's going to hurt you in the long run as a female, and it's going to hurt your psyche even more. You thinking that you want your man to have another woman is going to affect you even more than you think it's going to release your issues with him. You cannot have a female and another female in the same room with a gangbang. Okay, buddy?
Okay, I mean that's that's
It's
your
my
experience.
opinion.
No,
It's not my.
my
I've never fucked a
Man.
bitch. Well, this is what I'm witnessing from every motherfucking bitch I've ever talked to had a threesome. She said, "Yeah, I loved it until my guy started fucking her, or
Well,
gave a little
that's-
more oomph into her." The bitches, females are evil, dog. They're dumb,
that's
poor, evil motherfucking bitches. They have no true friends. That's why they hate and bitch and gossip about each other all the time. Never trust that shit. Men can have threesomes and not give a fuck, but females are fucking evil.
But Mir, so the way
What?
this story came up and the way it got disclosed,
Sure.
right, was what I was saying. I was trying to make a joke with Ray and Liam. And what happens is so you have your girlfriend, in my
Sure.
case, my girlfriend. Now you're involved in this threesome. And you're like, as a guy, you're like, ooh, I've got, two women. Well, even in the threesome, what happens is your girlfriend gets jealous. And it's like that's and that was what I didn't say that it was fun. I didn't say that it was great. I didn't say that I wanted to do it again and again and again. I'm just what I was pointing out though is that whenever you get 3 people involved in a relationship, or 4 as Steel Toe does,
Yes, bad.
the jealousy and the other, all that stuff comes out.
Yeah.
So it's it's not a positive. And if I could go back, I mean, it's great that I could tell the story, right? And it's great
Yes.
that I engaged in it and all that stuff for my
You
life.
took the
People love
bullet.
it.
A lot of us men wouldn't.
But I wouldn't go back. Like I don't know anybody that would have turned down what I was offered. Right?
Well,
Like,
you
I
know
don't
what? You know
anybody
who
that
would
would have
turn that
turned it-
down? Men of Christ, men of faith, men of morality. You need to turn that down. You should never, ever take that into consideration. I'm not kidding, Schmuel.
But he wasn't married at the time, so I
And
mean,
I wasn't-
like,
it
there's-
wasn't
that's fine then, buddy. Get your dick wet. Hang on,
My
wait, you're
wife-
not
I wouldn't-
married.
no,
dude.
no,
You're
no, I
fine.
am-
Get your dick wet, dog. Fuck it.
No,
That's not your
I am-
problem if they have issues.
No, I would
Fuck
never
it.
do that. I would never do that married, and I would never because
What
and
the
a-
fuck? What?
and a big reason for that
Oh,
would be
Chow, I'm
because
sorry,
of what
dog.
I would think the next morning, right?
Sorry, Chow.
Even though it was another chick, I would not trust my wife.
no,
And
no.
that's
Yeah.
the big thing. So I would never do it when I was married.
Oh, yeah.
well, and what's
Sorry.
great is he actually said
Good man.
yeah, actually back in the day when he first dropped this story, he agreed 100% with what you said, Lil Mir. So his experience was exactly
that?
that was the point he was making. So super
Oh
based
fuck!
on
I missed that. But hey, I people have been feeding me you were married or some weird shit online. So you know what? I respect you. Then if you want to get your dick wet as a single man and that other guy has to deal with his fucking crazy bitch dealing with that shit, fuck him. Not your problem.
Yeah,
respect
and I was
that.
with and in this that was with 2 women. One was my girlfriend, the other one wasn't with anybody else at the time. So it wasn't like
Yeah, she's not your
I
wife.
had some guy going, oh, well, now I want to change it. But man, I learned this early on. You guys probably too young, and I stopped listening to Stern long time ago. But Stern had
Yeah.
this guy that kept calling him up, and he wanted his wife to be in a threesome, and he wanted his wife to be in a threesome. Stern arranges it somehow. The fans
He's a
get
cuck
together.
Jew, of course.
And then the dude is now 6 months later calling Stern, begging him to help him out because the wife left him for the girl and he's all alone. So now he's Mr. Kill Everything on Stern every day.
oh,
She
where's
was
Mr. Killer? You
perfect,
gotta
she
bring
was
him in
this,
here,
she was
bro.
that. So, you got to be careful because sometimes you might get what you ask for.
exactly.
That's
well,
dirty.
and then you've talked about it, and I know that
I'm gonna
I
take a
love
piss
these
towel. Go ahead.
stories that you've talked about, but you retired yourself as a drinker at some point in the past, right?
About almost 9 years ago, about 8.5 years ago.
But that means you still had a pretty good run, of
I had a
drinking.
good run, but it wasn't like I was, a drunk for a very long period. I mean, it wasn't a problem for most of my adult life. It only became that way in the latter part.
So what'd you think of like what were some of the big changes you kind of noticed when you did decide to cut it out?
I mean, it wasn't easy. Um, for me personally, I mean, it was over time. It was like I felt better. But it created problems. I'm with my that was what 8.5 years ago. I'm going to be married, I think 13 or 14 years this year. So my wife met me when I was drinking, but it wasn't like a problem. We're both independent. We both owned our own places, and so we weren't together all the time. And for her, it was tough because now I went from the funny drunk, right, to the guy who didn't drink anymore, and I got really angry after I got sober. Didn't know wasn't sure again, like, who I really was or what I was, or was I even a drunk? I just knew I was better off, you know, not doing this. And then, years later, it turned out to be a great decision. But I just noticed that um, because of the way I was living, you have to do a lot of lying and hiding and stuff like that. And I was also not engaging in things because I like to drink alone. Um, and I liked past tense to add in, benzos and Ambien and shit like that to it. So, it was like I would not go out because I would have preferred to have gone home, and be alone. So it was very weird. I was very either off or on. And my ex-wife will tell you that my drinking wasn't a problem. It was that when I did, it was too much, too quickly, you know? And so,
Yeah, it progresses hard, like especially the older you get with that mixing the pills and the drinking, just gets stronger and stronger. But you talked about going through like or being learning different philosophies, like so like mentally as you were going into like recovery, like what did anything change with that? Like I know you've talked about meetings and stuff. Like, was it more the social or the program, the concepts that you were learning in it that kind of gave you benefit? What attracted you to the meetings?
the thing that attracted me the most, at least in the beginning, or the thing that kept me coming, was the fact that I was in a room with people that didn't drink as a lifestyle or do drugs or getting fucked up, and they were happy. They were enjoying their lives. They were doing things. And it was like they could go out and they could have fun, and it didn't involve getting fucked up. Um, and the other part of it is that when you're drinking, and I'm gonna say smoking dope all the time, things like
That's
that,
horrible.
your life doesn't. It's like at a standstill, or it may
Yeah.
be moving, but instead of moving at 30 miles an hour like everybody else, you're going at 5.
Yeah.
And so things are passing you by, people are passing you by, success is passing you by.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing. Like one of the big changes was, oh my God, how much I could get done now,
All the time, extra time you have to accomplish things. But
do
no,
you have,
go
ahead,
go,
John.
Mayor.
Oh, do you have siblings?
Yeah, I do.
What's their ages?
They're all around the same age I am. Everybody's like.
Are you the oldest or are you the youngest?
No, I'm in the middle.
You're the middle child. I'm the
I have
middle
a younger
child.
brother
I
with 2
respect
older
that.
sisters.
Okay. Your like relationship with your younger brother, because I have a younger brother too. Like, how's that going? Like,
It does not exist.
What do you mean? What happened, man? Like, how'd you lose that?
We never really got along very well.
What's the age gap? Well, hang on. Before you say that, what's
3
the age
years.
gap? 3. Okay,
3
that's
years.
nothing. Okay, how'd you
Right.
lose it?
So I told you my family situation was
Sure.
fucked up.
Yeah.
So the kids would be used as pawns. So we were separated.
At birth?
Yeah, but
I know. I'm
it was
kidding.
like, and my little bro was the star, and
They made you hate him.
they were the star. Nobody made me do anything, and I never hated him, but we just didn't get along. He didn't like me more than the other part. Like
Okay.
we just were never close. It was just one of those things. We were never close.
Right, but you see your blood.
And our falling out didn't happen because of anything with us. We weren't really all that close to begin with. We tried, it just doesn't work.
How'd you try? Give me like an instance of when you tried.
Well, I tried. I moved back to the area that I was from with people, and was, my brother was married, obviously an adult. But my brother was married, and we tried to like hang out together.
How'd that go? How'd that hang
and
out
be
go?
friends. Not great. I mean, he was,
Well, tell me.
Well, I'm different. I'm very different than my brother. My brother is a more of a
Introvert?
no, much more of an
Extrovert? Okay, yeah, that's like my brother. Yeah.
But he's also very like he's very organized. He's very he's had like he married his like high school sweetheart.
Yeah, he loved her, sure.
And this anyway, we just I
Just
don't know
different
how to explain
vibes.
it.
I'm kind of like
Yeah,
that.
just-
Yeah, like I'm with that with my bro. He lives across the country, but we hang out. Like I'll see him a couple times a year.
Yeah, but you
at
still
the same
see
time,
him.
it's or like, but we're not like, I don't know.
You're
Like,
not tight, but you
his
still
vibe
see
of
him.
like hanging out is different than my vibe.
Right, but you still see him though, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, not necessarily all the time, honestly. Like it's kind of when you get busy and the older you go, it's like you're kind of like, hey, when it happens, it happens. So,
but Chow,
I get what he's saying.
Chow, I got a question for you though. When you see your fucking brother, do you give him a hug and you say, "Hey, how you doing, buddy? What's going on? What's going on with your life?"
Yeah, of course.
Okay, Schmuel, do you ask that with your brother?
No, but it's not. It's not.
Chow, I'm done. I'm trying to dig in, bro.
It's not. But it's not. It's like it wasn't me that ended the. He doesn't talk. My younger brother doesn't talk to any of his siblings, so it's not just me.
Okay, so he's like kind of like an extrovert out of you guys.
It had a look. It started when my mother died, and she died. I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever it was.
I'm sorry.
14 years ago, whatever. It's okay.
Okay.
People die. But she, that was what, that created a problem. And, you also have to remember that I was like, so I was 17 when I went in the military, right? From 16 to 17, I was living in different places. I didn't really want to be home. My brother was 3 years younger, right? So you're talking about 13-ish right? And I wasn't around much. So he's growing up and I'm his older brother, but I'm not around. So it's like now you're trying to get us back together. And
has he ever used like the older brother thing on him? Like, you weren't there for me. What the fuck, dude? Like, has he ever done that to you, or has he kind of like, since you guys were so separated, he never used that on you? Has he ever done that to you?
In a way, but he didn't really
explain that to me when he used it on you, and tell me how that affected you.
No, it just came out that he was like, he felt that we abandoned him and left him in the house.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah,
that's tough.
And took off, and so
how'd you react to that?
Legit, huh?
How'd you react to that when he accused you guys of abandoning him as a younger brother and you were his older brother?
Well, I don't know how I don't know that he told anybody else. I know that with me, I was just like, hey, dude, I was 16.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm a kid, and what am I supposed to do? And my brother was always at his girlfriend's house and she comes from a Brennanish typical Irish family with like 10 kids, so he was really one of their kids, and so look, these things happen, and there isn't an answer to them. You can sit there and you can blame your parents, you can blame all stuff, but it doesn't matter. It can't change anything.
Mm,
So, you know, you wish that things were different,
yes.
but they're not. And you can't change and you can't change the way people feel. You
Yes.
can you can be as supportive as you want and you can do what you want, but you're not going to change them. You're not going to be, that feeling is not going to go away unless unless they want it to go away.
Right. Chow, you got anything on that, or you want to move forward with something else?
No, I think it's very insightful, and I think on that note, I guess I do have something. Like, yeah, I mean, it was there's a lot of turmoil at the time, so maybe that's part of it too. It's like he has bad feelings associated with when they were, you know,
Right.
growing
So
up.
you
So he's
remind
doing his
him
own
of the-
thing.
You remind him of the turmoil, right?
Yeah,
Like,
So
even
Yeah.
if it's only a small part of it, it's still there, right?
yeah, he probably is like, yeah, he probably wishes you the best still, and it's like, but he just doesn't want to deal with that shit, you know. Like, he's living his life. He's got other things he's worrying
Hey,
about.
you're on to something else. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
we're done here as like family, not family,
But-
but like, yeah, I get it.
But people are asking about like Ray now, and yeah, I mean, so I discovered you.
buddy?
Yeah, so this is Mir. You probably don't know this, but
No, yeah, go ahead.
Buckman. Well, Buckman's a comic. I don't care what anyone
Really?
says.
I haven't laughed once.
Yeah.
I haven't laughed once. Make me laugh, money man.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
You've
kidding,
done
I'm
stand up
Wait for
at
that.
least one. You've done it before once, right?
I did do it. Yeah, I
So-
attempted to do it.
Were you good?
No, I mean, I was okay.
Can you tell me a
What-
joke?
I wasn't great. Not really, because they were mostly
In the moment.
stories. They're mostly joke, like story, like sort of what goes, like what happens, and then
Right, it's reactionary. Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
More
or,
rehearsed stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
okay.
Talk about growing up and then trying to find and laughing at it instead of, because you can wallow in shit and you don't wallow, you laugh at it.
He's not a Ray opener. Everyone's saying that he's
No.
not.
No.
Fuck no.
So
Oh no,
Joe
I haven't
Rogan
done
rules.
comedy in 20 years, so
Yeah.
no.
What? No.
Yeah, and that's the Rogan rule: is if you've done comedy once, you can call yourself a comic, or you are officially a comic. So,
You
but
are.
Ray,
I never thought
Yeah.
of myself that way, but go ahead.
well, for us, it counts. So, but Ray is like that's like your guy, bro. Like you've been, and I'm the biggest Ray fan of all time. Though lately I've been falling off on his antics a little bit, but you've built this relationship with Ray now where you're kind of like, what is it? Like, how are you like his manager or like just a good friend, or how does this work?
It's all everything between us is friends. And I just didn't like the way Ray was being treated, and also based upon my life, you can go from being garbage to being a success, however you define that. And so and I'm not shy about saying what I think to Ray. So
Good.
And like and Ray, for all of everything everybody says about Ray is really a nice guy. Like, he really wants to be liked. And then look, the other part of it is it's also your fault, people, because you wanted me to shit on Ray so much that I was going to do the opposite. I was not going to shit on Ray, and that's part of it. Go ahead.
I feel like you're in a situation that many others have been, where they look at Ray and they're like, wow, I love like his affable nature and his streams are captivating. You never know what he's going to get into, but then he repeats these stories. And everyone's like, he just needs this little bit of help to get to the next level. And many people have tried this, right? And every single person has failed because people give him the simplest instructions of like, just do this, just do that, and he'll never do any of them. So how is your conquest of that going?
Yeah.
One,
Go pull a Dan.
I don't care whether or not he takes my advice, right? Like,
Good. You're not like Dan from
I don't
podcast shit.
I don't care. whether he does or doesn't. And if we've gone over something before and it comes up again, I will be one to say, we've done this before. I've told you what the answer is. You don't want to do that. And we move on. But who's to say I'm right and Ray is wrong? Right?
That's true.
That's the thing, is like, people judge Ray's life, but you're not Ray, so you don't know how he really feels about it. Right? Like, you wouldn't want to live that life, but maybe
I would.
does.
I love it. You're living on the road. You're living edgy. You're living what did the boys say back in the day? You're living pickup to pickup on the highway as you were. That's what I'm saying, bro. He's like you, but back in the day, he's living on the edge. He's living fucking I'm getting picked up by any Joe who can pick me up and drive me where I need to be next. That's what he's doing right now.
I don't know that I wouldn't call it living on the edge.
Do you see any similarities of like between you and him, or like what
I do?
Because I'll say this. I brought this up before. One of the things I like about Ray, and people are like, "Why do you like watching Ray?" I don't get it. It's so boring. It's so dumb. He reminds me of a guy I grew up with, who I knew, who would tell these stories, and they change a little bit all the time, and he's always lying about the dumbest shit. And he was funny as hell, but like just annoying as hell to deal with, like on a real level. So that's part of the reason he reminds me of him. But I wanted to know, like, what do you see about him that was like that got you so invested, I guess?
Yeah, but you guys think I'm way more invested than I am.
No, right? You seem way more invested than we are. I can tell. You seem very angry. Yeah, you do, man.
I seem very angry about what?
You seem somewhat like, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. Like, I've been involved with Ray for about 2 years, more than you have, honestly, before you were even doing shows. And I've never gave all the same energy you have. You seem somewhat more concerned with how Ray gives off his time, and also how he is perceiving himself and how he just does his show. You kind of like, you seem a little bit more, I would say, complexed with it. And
but it's just,
I've been here longer than you have.
But that's my angle on the Dabbleverse, right?
What's your angle then? What's your
angle? And it's not. I shouldn't have used the word angle. It's my view. It's my view of the Dabbleverse. Different things interest different people.
Sure.
And I was joking around with Melton one time, and I said I have a soft spot for broken comedians.
Well, that's the thing too. You know that, so you have that experience of like kind of being in New York City, going to some of these same comedy clubs that Ray talks about on the stream, and now you're friends with them, where you guys can talk and all that. So
who's he friends with, Chow?
Loyalty
who's he friends
he's
with?
got.
Who's he friends with, Chow?
Buckman's buddies with Ray, IRL.
They're buddies. Okay.
Yeah,
they hung out in person. How was that?
Yeah.
How was that? All right.
Yeah,
Ray's a good guy, dude.
Fine. I mean,
he's normal.
It's like, but I don't know how to explain it. I think you guys think I'm way more, like I said, I think you guys think I'm way more invested in.
Don't ever think what I think, because you don't know what I think. So I assume that. You make an ass of yourself when you assume what I was.
What you say would leave me to believe that you think I'm more invested in it than I am. And, he is a character, right?
Sure,
and
but he's still a person.
I could have people in my life that are perfectly normal, perfectly sane, and boring as fuck.
Of course.
And you can't tell me that some of the shit that Ray does is not the most crazy or interesting things that you've heard.
No, I love it. Yeah.
So to get the inside dope on that is fun,
Yeah, no, I get it. You're a good man. I love that. Go ahead, Chow.
I think his anger that you're perceiving is he's very stern, and it's also his demeanor, and he's fiercely loyal to backing Ray. So you'll hear him like talking shit about other people who talk shit about Ray, basically. Right. So I think it's kind of that.
But I tend to be loyal. Like, we're talking about Ray, but I tend to be loyal, probably to a fault, with a lot of people.
Why? Why? Tell me why.
If Schmuel came up, I would be defending Schmuel. And other people that I like, that I know, that I've met.
It's crazy you fucking say that, because hang on real quick before you continue on, Mr. Schmuel. I brought up what was his face?
Julie.
Not Shmuley, the other fat fag. Starting John.
Oh.
I brought starting John. You seem somewhat complex with that. Like, he seems a little like too much or whatever, this and that. I said, oh, he's a great guy. He's a great guest. He knows what he's doing. He's like, oh, well, John knows what he's doing. Who are you kind of like defending in that realm? Because Stuttering John, honestly, is a fucking G. You gotta understand that, man. You seemed a little bit like offensive towards me saying that he was somewhat of a G.
Was this backstage?
Yeah, it was backstage.
Before we
So I want to
started?
bring that up.
So I just want to give
waiting
context.
for the other host.
We were
okay.
waiting, but I'm like,
Waiting
I'm
for
getting,
me.
I'm
Yeah,
getting.
sorry.
No, you're good, bro. I kind of got that from you, dog, and you're smiling now, smoking your cigar, your grape cigarillo, fucking.
No, this
shit
is
that you buy at the gas station for fucking $2.
This is a Dominican.
I don't give a fuck.
Or
All I'm
something.
saying is, I
No,
want to understand.
I don't think.
like,
I don't think of stuttering. I don't think of Stuttering John as a G at all.
okay,
I
how
think
do you
that-
not? You know, wait a minute, motherfucker. Before you say anything else, before you spew your garbage, I want to say this though. You said to me, I respect Starting John for how he said things and how he conducts himself around things. And you said,
didn't
I
say
respect.
that. I don't think that I said that, Mir.
Okay, I did not have, but dude, we were talking the realm backstage as bros, as the way of like, hey, I fuck with that guy. Someone, I get his vibe.
Well,
Do you
this is
respect?
Also, look, this is also the first time I've met you. That was the first time I talked to you. I don't
So
know
you
why
lied?
my hat looks so fucking weird. But
Oh.
I don't what do you call it? I don't usually just my first conversation with somebody is usually not shitting on somebody else.
Okay,
Right?
I respect that.
And
yeah.
you seemed like you like Stuttering John. This interview's
you
not about
lied?
Stuttering John.
It's not. Yeah.
And unless asked, I'm not really going to go into I wasn't going to go into it. I don't think Stuttering, to me, my
Sure, go
view
ahead.
on Stuttering
ahead.
John is he's a lottery winner that pissed away all of his winnings.
I like
And-
that. I like that. Okay.
And instead of realizing that, he just digs deeper and deeper and deeper. And
Yeah, I like that. yeah.
other people making fun of it is hilarious because he could have gotten himself out at any time.
Out of the hood. Yeah.
Sorry about my far-headed.
No, you're good,
clothes.
sir. No,
Well,
oh, go ahead, Chow.
Yeah, because I want to keep on this Dabbler and Dabbleverse. I want to make this note, Mir. What I've noticed about Buckman is he's very loyal, not just to Ray, but like he's also he's tribalistic about I like this guy, I don't like that guy. I'm
Right.
team
I like
this
that, though.
guy.
I
I'm
like that.
team Dixon. I don't like Felicia or whatever the different dynamic is. So he'll choose a side, but in this
I feel like
Dabbleverse,
but the Dixon thing is like I feel like I've been the Felicia Dixon thing. I feel like I've been in that relationship. I don't agree with everything that Pat's done, but I think somebody coming on and talking shit about you as an ex is just a horrible thing to do.
Yeah, fuck
and
them.
That's why I stick with Pat.
Yeah, no, I stick with Pat too. I talked to Pat too privately about fucking what's his face. He deserved to get his jaw broken, right? Right, Schmuel?
Oh, Gino?
Yeah.
I didn't think so at the time.
Are you a faggot or what? No.
I didn't think so
dude.
at the time. I didn't really know what was going on. I was pissed off at Pat for doing it because I enjoyed New
What?
York City Crime Report and stuff like
I
that.
mean,
And
yeah,
that
I did
caused
too.
it to end. And I've told Pat, I don't think that was an appropriate reaction. I don't think that
I mean, yeah, you're right.
punching
You're right.
Gino was not. I don't think it was the smartest thing to do.
I don't shit on it, but I also understand why it happened. That's what I'm gonna say.
I do. Yeah, I do way more now than I did back then. I'll tell you that.
no, on that note of like what I was getting at with you've become like a guy in this Dabbleverse where like you showed up at like things and you're very into the community aspect of it. So I think there's like two different types of people, right? There's people who are like watching all these guys from afar and maybe they're on a team, maybe they're not, maybe they're captivated by certain things. But then there's other people who, I'm team Melton, I'm anti-Chad, or I'm team this, I'm team that. So what do you make of all that's going on in this Dabbleverse, like the chatter dynamics and the social dynamics of it.
Yeah,
so
dog.
my view is more I see Melton. I like Melton.
Yeah.
I'm not friends with him. I'm not like hanging out with him or whatever. And I see him for what I think he is. And I see Chad, and I see Chad for what I think he is.
What is he?
You know?
Say it, you pussy. What is he?
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's very funny. I also I think he just likes to start shit just for starting shit.
Okay.
And when he's not honest with us, and he's not honest with himself.
Okay.
Like, I think Patrick knows who Patrick is.
Yes,
I don't think Chad knows who Chad is.
Okay.
Right? And even like I met Chad in Atlantic City.
You met Chad in Atlantic City?
Yes, and
How was that when you walked up to him? How was that when you shook his hand?
It was great. I walked up to him. I told him who I was. He was like, "Oh man, you are rude." And I smiled, and we talked for a few minutes.
What'd you guys talk about?
Bullshit. Just
okay, friendship.
Absolutely nothing important. And then, and other people were trying to like do the same with Chad. It was really a place to kind of sort of bury a bunch of shit that had gone on in the past.
Yeah.
And myself included, thought that it was. And then Chad goes on his stream and starts calling people.
He called you out,
shit,
bro.
And this, and like Melton inviting him to DabbleCon, right? What his reaction I felt was disingenuous.
Okay.
Oh, he's lying to me. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. Yes, Chad did give me a lanyard. I have it in a. His lanyards were fantastic.
No, they were brilliant. I looked at them. They looked very real. So you and Chad were actually like somewhat not friends, but acquaintances. You knew of each other.
Well, he knew who I was from streaming, and I knew who he was from streaming, and I had been breaking his balls.
Yeah, but that's that. I mean, come on, yeah.
You
weren't bad. You weren't pushing the limit.
I don't have it's. So the deal is, I only have a limited amount of time, so I don't watch a lot of stuff.
Sure.
As much as I'd like. And when I see Chad behaving the way Chad behaves, and like starting the fake fights with John, and
is that your problem? Do you prefer that or no?
And I also don't. My other thing too is, like with the credit cards, with the girlfriend, with the getting in the accident, all that stuff. I don't feel like Chad's owned any of it. It's like there's always somebody else to blame. And that's a personal bugaboo of mine.
Well, Mr. Buckman, can I get honest with you real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because here's the thing. You are a person like you're so tough. I fuck with you, bro. You're tough. What are you smoking real quick before we get into this? What are you smoking?
These are Caldera Dominicans.
Good man. All right, I like that. Hey. So I kind of want to get into you because like this Dabbleverse shit is so gay in some aspects. Like not even gay. Like I respect it. It's like people fuck with it, and I used to fuck with it too. It's tough, but I want to get into you. I want to understand who Schmuel Buckman is, because you are a true person who has come out of nowhere in a ripe age of 60 plus. Not knowing shit about StreamYard, Streamcast, any of that shit. You have Dave Sierra help you out. You're getting booked up. You're just blowing the fuck off the scene. And I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I've never seen an old motherfucker like you blow off like this before since I've ever seen like I don't even know what. I don't know. I've never seen this before in the streaming industry.
Never happened.
Cal can say it right now too. Never happened. Never seen it. You're blowing the fuck up, old man. And I know you don't want I know you want to act like you're like, you know what?
No,
guys,
because
I'm just like great. Hey
guys,
blowing
I'm
up
mean?
here.
I have 146 subscribers. That's not
46 subscribers. I'm just here. Yeah, but you're pulling half your fucking audience right now, doggy. All I'm saying is this: you're blowing up. You're gonna be something. You're gonna hop on. Here's my thing, though. Understand this. Don't subjugate yourself to these old streamer motherfuckers with your stream like Joey C did. Joey C's garbage now. I know Chow House hates to hear it.
Hate to hear it, but yeah, man.
Joey C, I mean, Chow knows it. Joey Z kind of
No.
died out with that shit.
Well, because it's
I'll
not
never
because he's
admit
not
that.
because he's not real, right?
He's not real. You are real though, big dog. You
Is it-
can move to anything you want to move to, and that's what makes you brilliant. All right, Mr. Schmuel. So all I'm saying is, big dog.
My knob is so polished right now; it's glowing.
No,
Go ahead.
no, I don't get this, dude. You're a commodity. You're like the pet rock that's gonna blow up for the next 2 years. Okay.
Well, what you got into like kind of how you started doing the show, but like, what do you think it was that really made it click? Because you had to learn all this new stuff, right? When you were getting into it.
It's the doing it. That's it. It's my
Just the
The
commitment.
big time.
it's my life philosophy,
I
right?
gotta take a piss
Like,
now. Continue.
and this is what I think about Joey C. And I've said this before. You can have all the plans in the world, and you can think about doing things and whatever, but just fucking do it, right? And it. I went through many shows with not being able to get on mic and the video not being right. I know that I'm ugly, and that was a big thing. Like I didn't want to stream for that reason. And a lot of the stuff, but you just do it, man. And it's just like, and that's the way life should be. Just do it, and you know, do it. You got a plan, obviously, but if you don't put the plan into action, it doesn't nothing happens, right?
Mhm.
And there are a lot of motherfuckers out there that are streaming to 5 people. So, I'm not better than them, and if people like what I listen to, that's great.
Well, that's the thing, and just showing up is a big part of it. And it's funny because some of these shows, like the most consistent streamers, they show up, they're doing it by showing up, but then they don't have any. But then what they talk about is things they're gonna do that they're never gonna do the whole stream. So it's like this weird dichotomy that I've witnessed. Like, so they're there and they're like, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna happen. Like Ray's talking about his big Netflix docu-series coming out and all this stuff. It's like they talk about doing stuff, but nothing ever gets done. So I like it. I like that philosophy. I heard it on Nike too, man. Just do it, bro. Just do it.
Well, it goes back to I was reading Tony Robbins years ago, right?
Tony Robbins.
And
Who's that?
the guy, he's got big teeth.
OG motivational speaker.
Yeah, you could
guy.
look him
Okay.
up. You could look him up after. And
Sure.
I laugh about all these motivational people because a lot of it is jerk off stuff, but they have a good, they have a few good tidbits. But the one thing this guy said in the book was that everybody makes decisions. That's not hard. It's putting those decisions into action. That's the tough part. And that's the kind of stuff that I think about. Now I'm not 100%. I'm probably not even 20%. But if I'm 20 and the guy behind me is 15, I'm 5% ahead. So
Got room to grow. So
What the fuck are we talking about?
I was just talking about
what Amir's gonna do with his life.
Hang
Well, yeah.
on. Hey, Schmuel, you went in the military. You're a fucking Jew, right? Don't even talk to me what I'm going to do in my life, bro.
Yeah, what difference does it make if I am or I'm not?
You're a Jew. You went in the military.
What difference does it make whether
What?
I am
You're
or
a
I'm
Jew.
not? What difference does that make?
What does it make? What? Do you support
difference
Israel or
does it
not?
make?
Do
What
you support
does-
Israel or what?
What is my
Ethnicity?
religion, ethnicity? All that stuff?
Ethnicity?
What does
Is
that
it
have to do
religion or
with anything?
ethnicity to
It's
you?
not nearly
What
as
is it?
important as you think it is.
No, it
That's
is.
the
You got
difference.
offended.
That's
Wait
the
a minute.
difference.
Wait
That's
a
the
minute.
bullshit
Wait
that
a
you've been
minute. I love it.
sold.
I love it. You got offended real quick. What is
No,
it to
that's
you?
the bullshit you've been sold.
What
When
is
you
it?
went
What is
back
it?
on, like, I don't
Hang
believe
on.
in
No,
interracial
hang on,
relationships
motherfucker. Hang
and
on,
that stuff.
tweaker. You got
No,
really offended
let
real
me
quick.
finish. Let me
Okay,
finish.
go ahead.
Yeah, I
You
let
go
you
ahead.
say
You go
you
ahead.
said your thing about like interracial relationships.
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that stuff.
Well,
When I
we touched
grew
on that
up,
for a second. Go
in
ahead.
the growing up thing, the one thing that I do
Yeah, go ahead.
think was better back then
What?
is your ethnicity was a part of who you were, but it
Okay.
wasn't who you were.
Sure.
And now
Wait. Explain that to
we're
me.
so
Explain
caught
that.
up
Wait,
in
hang on. Before
our
you move on to
ethnicity
that,
and our
explain that to
culture
me.
and
Explain that to me first before you go on towards something else. Explain that to me.
like what?
You said your ethnicity is something a part of you to something else. Explain that
It's
before
a
you
part
move
of
on.
you. It's not all of you. It's not the majority of you.
Okay.
It's a small part of you.
Your
Look, that's
ethnicity
what makes America great
is your
that
ethnicity.
you can come here, whether you're
Sure.
Costa Rican, a Jewish guy from Ireland, or Canadian,
a South
and you
African
can
from South Africa who's white. Got it.
and you can become Elon, or even a black South African. You can come and you were able to be successful. And
Sure.
I don't mean successful like people go, oh, the American dream money. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking
Got
about is a successful person. Your
Okay.
life is good. You're happy about people. You're happy about the way things are for yourself and life, and you see a future,
Yes.
right? Because a lot of these people, they come from places where there is no future.
Right. No, I get that. Yeah, my family came from nothing. I get that.
And so
2 generations ago, I get that.
right. And but the thing is like, okay, but that doesn't make you any better than anybody else, or
Of course
any worse
not.
than anybody else.
Of course not. Yeah, you have to humble yourself and you have to put yourself into perspective. I get that.
And the reality is if you are a Caucasian,
I'm
or
not
Jewish,
but
or
okay.
whatever,
I'm not.
but if you're a white
Not
guy,
like you. Yeah.
or whatever, you are not going to be in the majority for very long. These other people are a part of life. They're going to be a part of your kids' lives. They're going to be the majority in your kids' lives, and not because of anything they did, but because of what you or what we decided to do, which was to stop having children.
My question is just though, why did you get so offended when I started saying Jewish garbage propaganda that white people spew onto the Jewish population, and you just started going off on me? Why'd you do
because
that?
I'm disagreeing with because I don't think it
You
matters.
seemed very
I think it matters, and
angry
I
as
think you think it
non-religious
matters.
person.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
You seemed very aggressive and very. We can run it back too once the show's over.
No, we can't.
You seemed very. Hang on, I'm not done yet, Schmuel. You seemed very aggressive and very opinionistic on when I started attacking Judaism or whatever the fuck it is. I know you're a non-religious. You stated you are. You don't give a fuck about anything, but you still defended it to some extent, and you're very aggressive about it.
No, I wasn't. But you misunderstood, man. I was not defending being Jewish or not Jewish. All I was saying was, what difference does if I am or am not?
Right.
What difference does it make? Why would it matter?
All it matters to me is I think as a non-religious person, you should just allow people to talk and not just speak on the behalf of the religious people that you're talking upon.
But
I don't speak on the. I am Roman Catholic, correct? But I don't speak on Roman Catholics. You were shitting on priests and shitting on the weird pedophilia that's going on in Catholic churches. I never spoke upon them, even though I'm Roman Catholic, because I don't condone with that. But when I start speaking upon anti-Jewish things that are going on, you jumped into it, even though you're still a non-believer in Judaism or whatever it is. And that disturbs me as a person of the Jewish ancestry or Jewish culture, that you would just jump on that, even though you're not truly practicing in Judaism. And that is why I got a problem with that shit, motherfucker. So yeah, see you laughing, bitch. I got you, motherfucker.
Dude,
there it is.
This goes back to your racial thing earlier. You have a problem with interracial stuff, right?
I don't have any problem with interracial stuff,
did.
dog.
You said it earlier. You said
it's a joke.
You said
I know,
you
but it drew you in. It drew you in, and now here you are being portrayed as an anti. Dude, you gotta understand this.
I'm being portrayed as what? Anti what?
You gotta understand you're being a little bit too pro. Like I'm control. Like I don't know, man. You're being a little weird.
Like
I don't like it.
Not
pro-trans. He's just being a little weird. I don't like it. Here's my thing. I'm a fucking Roman Catholic, sure, whatever. I don't give a fuck about them, but I'm so like pro. You want interracial? My family's interracial. I don't care. Dude, you gotta stop protecting the Jews as much as you do. You're a little too aggressive with it, even though you're not Jewish. You gotta calm down,
Coast, bro. That's what he does.
I know.
Dude, and you're also missing.
Your music stinks. Lol, interracial stuff. Mer's right.
You're missing.
What is your stuff, doggy?
My overriding point is It
You love the
doesn't
Jews?
matter whether who you are as far as your religion or any of those things.
Of
It
course.
matters what you are. And
I
that's
love
my
that.
point. And that's one of the things that I don't like. One of the things that I don't like about the Dabbleverse is the overt racism, the overt homophobia.
What's wrong with that?
That's right. I dislike that stuff. Well,
I don't understand what's wrong with
you
that. Why
obviously
can't people
can't be
do it?
homophobic if you're a Roman Catholic. So let's.
You can't.
let's,
That's the rules, man. You can't be a Muslim and fucking love Jews, or you know what I'm saying? Like there's
Of
certain
course you
rules to
can.
things. I mean, come on,
Laws.
dude. I mean, Schmuel, in the true context of what you're being, you can't be black and be white at the same time, right? Correct? You can't be black and have white in you. You're interracial. You're mixed, correct?
So what different? But my point is, what's the difference? What
You,
Why
I
does
know
it
you want a
matter?
perfect world of things that are gonna be, but that just isn't how the
No,
things happen.
I don't want a perfect world, but I want an honest world.
Yeah, honestly,
right?
so you should be honest with us. If you want,
I am being honest.
okay, so if you want
I'm being
interracial,
honest
want
with you in
interracial.
saying that
You're saying
who I am or where I come from is not important.
it's not.
Who I
should
am
be
and what I am
concerned.
today, that's what's important.
So wait, hang on. What does that mean? Explain that to me. Not where I came from, but who I am. Explain that to me.
I am the person I am. I am not the genetics that I was born with. Right? And judging somebody because of their race or their religion, I think it's simplistic. That's part of like I love Anthony Cumia. I think he's hilarious, but I think his takes on race and his takes on, and a lot of the takes in the Dabbleverse on race and religion, they're just very simplistic.
Explain.
And
what do you mean by that, though?
well,
That's a very broad
talk about
question.
like going back in time. I can give you an example, man. You
Yeah,
talk about
do
going
it
back
then.
in time,
Do it then.
and people shit on, say, black culture. Well,
yeah,
that culture was created because these people were relegated to areas. They weren't allowed to work. And the government destroyed their families. So what do you
Why?
expect?
Yeah. I mean, why though? Why did they destroy those families?
Well, I frankly think when you did Great Society and you did welfare benefits and you started giving people money to have kids, you just made it worse, because then you just made kids a commodity, right? And you did away with fathers.
Yeah,
and the
that's
need
true.
for fathers.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
huge.
the fact that look,
I blame
how
white people
rare
for
it was
that, and
very
Jews.
rare to grow up with me where you had a family that was a mixed family where the mother had given birth to kids from more than one guy. I mean,
Yeah,
it could happen, but it was rare.
It's
Now
very
it's
rare. Yeah.
common. It's,
It's sad.
I get, 3 or 4 guys, that their mom had different dads with each of them. And it's just like, well,
It's
that's
horrible.
normal. And that's when we normalize that shit. And the government normalized it.
Of course. So I got a question for you then,
Sure.
because I kind of want to get more governmental with you. I don't know, Chow, if you're. Do you want to do that, or do you want to go into something else? Because I want to ask my
You keep
co-host
going.
first.
I might have to jump off and on a couple times. But...
Yeah, we got about 20 minutes or so. So let's.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
go, Mir.
you want me to go? Okay. I'll go. So you're kind of like pro, like I get it too, because I am that also. Like I don't care what ethnicity you are, as long as you're pro America, right? You're about that.
Yeah, I think that you come here and then this is whether it's adopted
right, you
or born, this is your home.
Right, you learn the fucking language, you fucking protect the flag, you fucking do what you need to do to be an American, right?
Yeah, protecting the flag is something I have an issue with, but that's for another time.
I mean, okay, Jesus, yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll have you on again. I'm sure. I would love to have you on, Schmuel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you have any other topics, Mir. I think I kind of touched on a bunch. But I guess
I was gonna get more political with him, but go ahead.
Yeah, he's not even that into politics. He's a mastermind at
he seems passionate.
Dabbleverse, bro.
He seems very passionate, very I don't know, like he's an older vet, dude. I don't fucking. Here's my thing. Everyone's like, oh, these older vets. Like, no, dude, these older vets believed enough to go in the fucking military and fucking put their lives on the line to fucking do something for this country. I'm
Yeah,
sure they
but
came away with
no,
something.
we weren't.
I'm
But we
sure you
weren't.
came away with something
Look,
from it.
if we were volunteer, if
You
we were
volunteered.
volunteering at young ages because of the love of our country and wanting to protect,
I know you
people
didn't. You
and
guys
stuff
are
like that,
fucking
that would be
losers
fine.
and shit.
But most of us weren't doing that.
I know.
We're doing it because it enabled us to go to school or buy houses, or
Yeah, get the
we
skills
thought
you
we'd go
needed.
through a few years of shit, right? Because nothing makes me crazier than the vet that was in my time, never went to war, never went to anything, and is now like, I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran.
So
Or even
yeah.
Chad stealing credit cards, right? It's called the veteran's credit card. What did he do? Ask the fucking guy before he took his card. I mean, come on, it's just stupid.
So Schmuel,
And stealing his credit card is no worse than stealing somebody else's.
Schmuel, Mr. Buckman. I know you don't like me telling you this, but I'm gonna say Mr. Buckman
ahead.
because my parents taught me to respect my elders. So Mr. Buckman.
You don't respect me because I'm an elder.
No,
Respect
I
me 'cause I'm a
should
person.
within
Go ahead.
reason before you act like an idiot. But
All
anyway,
right, go ahead.
all right. What? Oh God! Can I ask you something very personal? You're okay
You
with
can.
it?
I don't know if I can answer it, but you can ask it.
Okay. Are you Jewish?
That's the one question I won't answer.
I respect. I will assume you are.
It needs to remain a mystery.
You are Schmuel Buckman. I know Buckmeiser. You're German. I'm guessing you're German or Polish, and you're somewhat German. It's all right. My question
I'm
to you is,
European. I'll give you that.
I know you are European. I can
But I'm
tell
not
by your
German. I have
Buckman, Schmuel.
very little German in me.
All right, yeah. Besides the Holocaust, but anyway, my question is to you is, sounds like I got bounce. My question is to you, sir. What is your take, honestly, on the anti-Semitism that is popping off nowadays in modern America to the point where you see it being sensitized and demonetized by a lot of left, I would say middle-leaning right America? You see a lot of right-wing, and you see it all over Twitter. You see a lot of pro-Hitler, fuck the Jews, pro-Nazi. What's your take on that as a Jew? Honestly, because Schmuel and Buckman is very Jewy.
Look, I wouldn't have to be a Jew to have the same take, which is, I think that an enemy is required. I think there has to be an excuse and a reason that things that don't make sense need a reason to make sense, and it's, the Jews are the target of the day.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well,
I don't get that.
It means that we're not, in my view, our being in Ukraine has nothing to do with
Judaism,
Jews or Israel or any of that.
Of course,
but
yeah.
It makes.
With Iran,
but I need
all
a
that
reason.
shit.
I need
Iran.
Iran. Well, Iran is. Those are not it's not good. The people may be good, right? But the government and the country is not, it's not
garbage,
somebody that
yeah.
I want to have sitting on nuclear weapons. So,
Right.
I don't like them. What can I tell you? Do
Are
I
you
want to
Jewish?
fucking bomb them? No, because I don't think that ever works. But that's
Are you Jewish?
It's an entirely different. You can ask the question as much as you want, and you're not getting an answer to it.
I got it then. All right.
Because if it's a no-win for me, right?
It is a no-win because if you're Jewish, they're gonna
say-
shit on you, and if you say you're not,
yes, if I say yes, I am, then it's everything I say is going to be based upon
what you say.
my Jewish heritage. If I say,
Of course.
if I say no, then it's going to be, oh, he's doing Jewish blackface.
You're a Zionist or whatever, yeah.
Right.
Chow, go ahead. I'm done. I got it, buddy. You're good.
I don't have much more for Buck. I mean, you got, like I said, keep doing what you're doing. I'm enjoying your stories. I think you need to try to get on Ray's show more and kind of.
So let me ask you guys. I can get on Ray's show anytime. I get offers
Sure.
to go on all the time.
Yeah.
We talk all the time. I don't want to be. I'm already identified enough
As a Jew. Yeah.
as Ray's guy, and
True.
I don't want to do that. And then what happens is if I express an opinion about Ray, then it'll be, oh, he's shitting on Ray, he's trashing on Ray. So I don't want to do that. And it's like, look, Ray is a part of me. There's in my persona here online, and I'm not going to change that. But I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be all of me. I don't want to be Kevin Brennan, whose show relies entirely upon Ray DeVito.
Right.
So I'm not going to do that. And I do laugh. Like, he's an open micer. He's this. He's that. He's got no power. But Kevin gets pissed at Ray because Ray supposedly is able to block him from getting guests. Well, if Ray's this nobody with no respect from anybody, how can he be blocking?
No, it's
Kevin.
funny on that
And
note. Kevin was asking like Chad once, like how'd you get a guest? And it was someone I booked, and it was the easiest thing. I just DM'd them and said, "Hey, would you be open to coming down?" They're just like, "Yeah, sure." It's like it doesn't take much to get someone on a show. So Ray's got a huge network, so that's what people love about it is he brings on different people. But I don't know, man.
I need to address something from
the anti-Semitism.
In our chat. Could you put up Mint Diggity?
Schmuel's a diva. Don't let it slide. Of course.
Schmuel's a diva. No, I am a diva. But go back up a little bit more.
Oh, he already sabotaged the basketball game.
He already sabotaged
the Jews. Yeah, the Jews. Yeah, I get
this was not my intention. This is one of those when you say something and it backfires on you. I thought Ray was worried about being taken advantage of at the basketball game. So I suggested a ref. Now, what happened was I was doing that to be supportive of Ray, and Ray misinterpreted it as me thinking he needed a ref. And that's where it went. And then it went downhill from there. And so in the end, I may have sabotaged the basketball game, but that was not my intention.
I totally understand that. And that's one of Ray's trademarks is like he gets combative over like nothing. Like, and that was like one of them where it was like a referee and he said, well, if there's going to be a referee, I'm not doing the game. He clearly said that. And obviously you were just trying to like, tell him like, hey, just, make the terms of the agreement something that you agree to. And
because Chelsea Piers at Chelsea, I was right. Chelsea Piers, do you get these? I guess they're AAU or something. There are referees that you can hire for games and stuff. And I thought, oh, he's worried that Kevin's going to take advantage of him or so-and-so is going to, that I thought he thought they were trying to fuck him over and they were going to try to fuck him over in the game, put the money up, but then make sure he could never win it.
Buckman,
something
hang on.
like that. And so that's why I suggested it. And now Ray today is okay with the ref.
Buckman, I got a cool question for you.
All right, go ahead.
You said you've been married, what, twice, 3 times?
3 times.
3 times. Holy shit. Okay. You were a young man, I'm sure, when you got first married, right? To the love of your life, high school sweetheart, right? Maybe middle school.
Say that again?
Middle school, high school sweetheart, you got married to, right?
No, his bro did.
I got
his bro?
His brother got married.
My brother did.
Yeah, he said that earlier, but that was his brother who got married to
my brother, and he's still married to this day.
Okay, what failed about your relationship with your first sweetheart? Real quick.
I should never have gotten married. We were too young.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you still are people.
You know what? I could go into it, but it's not really. It's not really that great of a story, and it kind of goes on, and it's not really that. And
but it's building something
terribly
here.
interesting. We got married because of money.
Yeah,
because it was going to benefit us, but we shouldn't have been married as people.
So you didn't marry her for love?
Enough. We didn't know each other.
You married her for money.
Not her money. Not
your money.
Whatever. It would just benefited us if I was in the military and married. That meant I took home more money.
Gotcha. Like so money's involved. Gotcha. Okay, let's move to the next one now. Second marriage. Why'd you fall apart?
That one is. Look, we could do an entire. I'll probably talk about that. Quick. Wait, let me finish. I'll talk about that on my show in time. I just talked to her the other day. there were a bunch of issues. A couple of big ones were 2001, 9/11 changed her,
Perfect.
right? 9/11 changed her. It changed me. I was
Right.
also probably drinking too much.
Dancing.
I
these
wasn't drinking
delis.
too much, but when I would drink, I would say things
Right, you'd be
that I
like,
didn't
"Fuck the
remember saying.
Americans." Pro.
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
like
I'm
let's.
kidding.
I love you so much. I want to have a baby, but I had never wanted to have children and didn't remember doing it. All right, and having kids was something she wanted. I just never felt like I could provide. I was always worried about being
No,
a provider.
doggy. All
That's
right,
the
go ahead.
that's the deal.
You
The
were like
first
junior
girl that I
MKE.
had, the one that I lost my virginity to, the first woman I'd ever been
What?
with,
You lost your
was
virginity
a
after your third
squirter.
wife?
That's what Mint Diggity is asking in the chat.
Oh man. Okay, yeah. So you're living like MKE's life before him, you know?
I heard the Jews had to fuck through sheets because they don't want their cocks and their pussies touching, so like they keep
That's
it pure.
those
I
are
get
like,
it, buddy. I get it. Your
those are-
first virginity, your
dude,
first
those are
pussy,
like
you
those
fucked,
are
you
like
fucking
Hasidims
Jew
and stuff.
motherfucker.
That's not. They're
No?
not. That's not.
You fucked her through the sheet.
That's
this
like a
time?
sect. That's like I don't
What?
know. The branch, like in Christianity, you got the branch Davidians. To me, that's like them.
I know. I'm
you
kidding.
know?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But I'm just telling. It's my.
I
my
know it
view.
is. Dude, come on, dude. I'm making this joke for a reason. Come on, don't kill the show. Okay, I'm making a joke. Just roll with it, old man.
I
Just
am
keep
rolling
going.
with it.
You weren't.
Go
You were
ahead.
making a goddamn joke about. No, you weren't even making a joke. You're trying to give me the fucking logistics of it. I get it. I'm not stupid. Let's go. Come
All
on.
right, go ahead.
You go ahead. Tell me about the time you fucked your teenager girlfriend wife.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I got some time left. Can I ask you guys some questions?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go
Ask us
for
some
it.
fucking questions.
So you've been doing these interviews for a long time.
Great.
right?
Long time. Long time.
But you did have
No
a
success.
sabbatical. You had a long sabbatical, right?
Yeah. 5 months. Yeah.
All right. What is your, like, we talk about goals and things like that. What is your
Sure.
goal for the channel, or what is your goal for, like, what do you hope to accomplish by doing the interviews? Is it you just want viewers? Do you feel like you learned something? Do you feel like this is going to help other people? What's your reason for doing it?
Chow, you go first, and then I'll answer.
I think mainly when I want to do it is if it's someone like Mir's been finding a lot of the guests lately. It's kind of been interesting how it's progressed. Like Mir found a lot of the guests at the beginnings, then I started doing it for a bit, then now Mir's doing it again. So it's
Yeah.
but it's basically usually just someone like I either watch their show or I know who they are and I have questions for them, and that's how we want to get someone on for that. So
But
I don't
what do
know
you-
if we
But is it just interest? You're just interested in them, or
It doesn't matter.
is there an
man.
end? Like, do you have a goal in mind when you do these
No.
interviews?
No.
No, not really. I mean, I think we had super chats for a bit and then we turned them off. And we were kind of like thinking about like, well, what should we do? Because we wanted to do an interview style. We did a couple other like hangout style shows, you know. We still might do those from time to time, but Mir's busy, I'm busy. Like we can't build like a super routine, you know, show going, especially when you have to find a new guest that you want to interview.
It's
every
once
week.
a week. It's once a week, man. And I mean, like, here's the thing, though, Schmuely. All right, I know you're all about numbers and money, so.
No, I'm not about numbers. And money. Go ahead. Dude, if I was about numbers and money, I would try to get.
That's what you're
numbers.
asking me. This, I get it.
I have no. I'm not asking you that for that reason. I'm asking you, what do Mir and Musk, right? Not Musk.
No.
Mir
Who's
and
Musk? Chow.
Chow. Mir and Chow.
Jesus,
sorry.
yes, old man.
I was thinking of Mir Musk.
Yeah, you're good.
What do Mir and Chow see this channel developing into? And do you want to develop it into? I mean, you're young guys, right?
Yeah, we're in our 20s and 30s. Yeah.
Do you see you guys as getting more, not relegated to the Schmuel Buckmans of the world, but wanting to interview
the Jews.
bigger,
Yeah, but we
the
want
bigger and. See, this is what happens when you drink twisted tea, right?
Is
All
I
through the
get I
interview,
know. Wait.
you
Mein Kampf. I've been reading it since my bedroom. You know what, Chow? Put that shit on. Yay, Mein Kampf.
I'm not
Let's
playing
run
that
it.
again. No,
I'm
no.
kidding.
He's heard it.
I'm kidding. We're
But-
kidding. Schmuel Buckman, man. We're kidding. We're not racist. We're not Nazis. Don't shit on us on that.
Those
okay?
weren't the questions that I asked you. I'm serious
what-
because that's
what-
my
be serious.
interest. My interest
Mir,
is
what should we do?
what do
Like
people
building
want? Like,
this
what do
out?
you want out of this?
What?
Do you just want to do this and it doesn't like?
It's
you don't care, or
it's
do
a
you
fun
care?
it's a fun show, sir. Okay, calm down there, Schmuel Buckman. We're not trying to make
can't,
money.
Man. I'm not a calm person. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm not trying to make you a con man, but you told me not to call you Mr. Buckman because you don't like it, and I like to approach people as a proper thing. So, Mr. Buckman, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, look at me. Can you see me in my face? Look at my eyes.
I'm looking at you in your face. Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's not a real show. It's not a fun show. We're not trying to make money off it. Okay, we're just having fun. We're going to be a little drunk. We're going to be a little high. Who cares? Who knows? We're going to say some off guard things. But at the end of the day, it's all love. It's all good. And then we just push forward with it. If you can't take it as a person, that's okay. You cannot come on again. But we love to have you on.
You're a sensitive fella, aren't you?
Am I sensitive?
I just asked you a general question and you're like,
He's a
I don't know what
musician,
you're
bro.
asking me. What's he asking me?
I'm asking you, where
You
do
want the
see
gasp of the show,
where
or
do you
do you
see
want
this going? Where do you
nowhere, doggy?
Where is
I don't care.
Okay, all right. So wait. So what I understand about Little Mir is you're a musician. Is that correct?
No,
Okay.
I'm not a musician.
He was back in the day.
Were
No,
you?
it wasn't. No, it wasn't actually.
No.
he doesn't
No,
know
but if I
either.
look,
No, I was just doing it for fun.
you know, I'm gonna be.
You know, it's like when you're a cobbler, but at the same time you actually have a real job. That's what it is, doggy.
Where is what is this gonna look like? Are you still gonna be doing this?
Of course, why
Do you
not?
picture yourself
Why not?
interviewing
Why not?
bigger people?
Yes, why not?
All right,
What's
and
wrong
then what
with
do you
that?
get? But what do you get out of the interview?
I don't need
Like,
anything out of it. It's a good
and I'm
time.
not
hang out.
talking, but dude, I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking.
Yeah,
about
I don't need
tangible
money,
things.
fucker.
I'm. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I'm not
oh my
talking
God.
about that. I'm talking about in the
What?
mind of Lil Mir.
Yes,
What is
it's a
what is the
fun-
payoff to this? What
This
is
is the payoff. It's a fun TV comedy show. I wish I could see it on the internet, but it's not there. But I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to have fun with it. I want to see this. I want to portray it. People can't do this because they get too offended or they freak out, or you gotta watch what you say. You gotta watch what people do and shit. Chow and I have a great time being offensive, being this, being that, saying what we really want to say at a bar or whatever. We have you fucking tweakers on, and we watch you tweak out like Stuttering John. Who else? Andy Dick. Who else? Whatever. You tweaking out about Judaism, whatever, with your country. It's whatever, man. I love it. All I'm
Chow,
saying is this.
where do you see you? I feel like Chow understands more of the question than I'm asking, but
Oh,
Well, here's the other thing. Like, there really isn't like any planning we do. too
there's no
much.
planning.
But I've noticed this about you, Buckman. Like,
Yeah.
for a while, one of your things, you're obsessed with super tip system, like the business of it. You're always
money,
talking,
money, money,
yeah.
money, money,
Whereas,
money,
like,
money.
I'm more
You're
into
fucking
like,
Jew.
I don't know, like you get really into the details on that type of stuff.
Yeah,
Whereas, like,
he's asking me, how do I get fucking my money? What's the
No,
point?
look-
You know what, you motherfucking Jew? Chill the fuck out. I'm doing this as a fucking white man fun job, so chill the fuck out. You know, I'm done with this shit, bro. This guy
right.
is trying to press me,
See-
bro.
yeah, exactly, man. I'm trying to get an answer.
Why are
It's
you
not
trying to
that-
Jew me
It's not
out?
that fucking hard. Well,
Why are you trying to Jew
interviewed
me out,
You asked
bro?
me a bunch of questions. I told you what they were.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wanted
you
to
get
take a few
Jewy
minutes.
with it. You
I
get
wanna
Jewy with
find
it.
out
What's
about
your
you.
game plan? What's your 5-year excellence plan? Are you putting your
No, I just,
401k
like,
in
what's the
there? Hey, you
goal?
want to take a loan out, man? No, I
Chow,
don't.
I am only interested. I'm definitely interested in numbers. There's no question about that.
Of course.
But I'm only interested in numbers when I see people who think this is going to be like a career, right? Or they're going to make a lot of money or whatever. I'm like, I don't, what are the, where does that expectation come from? And by me fucking around and showing numbers and stuff, I'm providing a little dose of reality, right?
Wait.
Yeah, and I think you're also kind of just curious, like, what's the motivation and like
Right.
Exactly.
where do you
That's
see it
really my
going type
question.
thing. So I get the question.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this. I
There's
think
no
with
big time. I don't think
yeah,
there's any big time.
did I mention it when we were on last? I think I mentioned it to
I don't
Dan
think did
last
you
week
did you
that
mention big time on that? I don't think you did. Like, did you?
big time. No,
Yeah.
not big time, but I want to do like a show where it's calling at some
Yeah, I
point.
get
You know, to develop something like
I
that.
get that. Yeah. Like I would love to be on a show there's big timing, but like at the same time, this is a good show, man. Like people still like tune in even though we don't have like shit for I mean like guests. No offense.
I think you read Dan's podcast and he's just trying to like
Yeah, but
poke
he's big
us.
timing you, Mert. No, you're not
Right,
big
he's-
timing anything.
He's poking
Sorry.
us.
Yeah,
You're
and
not
I
big
referenced
timing.
I
'Cause that's what he
referenced
does.
Dan, but I meant last week when he was on.
Yeah.
I was telling him about our my idea of like doing a call-in show. But no, I mean,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
whatever.
Buckman and Mir, they're similar level right now. Buckman's,
we're
Mir's been
lower.
in the game a little longer, but Mir's
Here's the difference,
know,
man, about
they
being
got different
Buckman.
things.
Buckman, like, here's the thing, old man. It's not that you're like, here's the thing. You're gonna kill it. You're gonna be great. You're gonna be like Kevin Brennan one day. You will.
Dude, I have maybe 5 years of doing this. I am never going to be like Kevin Brennan.
It doesn't matter,
This will never
doggy.
be that. This is not that for me.
Hang on, can
And
I be
if
honest
you
with
knew how much angst I have before
I
every
know.
time I go on live, I couldn't do it. If you had
Mr.
asked
Buckman.
me the question, which you didn't, which was
I know. I'll
why
answer
did
right
you
now,
stop
Mr.
doing
Buckman.
comedy?
I know,
And
Mr.
the
Buckman.
reason why
Mr. Buckman.
is
Mr.
because I
Buckman.
developed terrible stage fright.
I know, Mr. Buckman. Can I answer you
And
real quick?
I also
Yes.
was bored by I did not have the ability to tell the same joke
Twice.
to different crowds because I didn't feel like it was funny after I heard it.
Mr.
the
Buckman,
first
can I
time.
be honest
That's
with
a
you?
true comic. I don't do that.
Right. Can I be honest with you real quick?
Yeah, you can. You've been honest with me this whole time, I hope.
As a younger man to you, as a leader in our populace, okay. Hang on, let me speak to you real quick. Let me take a sip real quick. You smoke your cigar. Hang on.
Take yours. Nice.
You I understand where you're coming from. You understand where the show's going because you were raised in a time and day where money talks, bullshit walks. And please don't interrupt me here. You are a man who makes things happen. You want the money, you need the money, you want to see where the money's going. And or in reality, hey, if you want something to be logistic or last, you have to have something behind it. And it has to have some meaning. You can't just go at it with half-asserity. But the thing is this show has always and always will be a fun show for friends to get together and have a guest on who we can fuck with, joke with, have a great time with, and maybe they can relate a little bit with it because they're not used as, and hopefully they can relate with it because most of our guests that come on are people who have to portray a certain image, who have to portray something so their fans can listen and continue listening to them and or will not attack them. So I hope you learn from this is that I have no animosity towards you. We're here to portray a show that we enjoy with you. I wouldn't have you on unless I didn't like you. I like you. You're a good man. And that if your fans have a problem with you being who you truly are, then that's an issue, and we can need to grow from that. Okay? I understand you're hurting.
Are you done? May I speak?
Sure, you may speak.
Okay. So you're way more obsessed about the money than I am. I am an old man.
You're not old. You're 62.
Just let me finish.
Yes, sir.
Change, all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm an old man. My life is behind me. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the luxury of being in my 20s in this amazing world we live in now and looking forward. So maybe I'm wishing that I did, and maybe that's why I'm asking you the question, because it's like
Why are you pushing it
I
on
get
me?
inspiration from the
Yeah.
people who are doing something,
Mm.
right? And I like that. Like
Online.
that's what I like. I like,
Online.
and
Yeah.
that's why I like the guys. This is why I like a guy like Rocco, right? Other than
Rocco.
being very talented, he's doing something that he really enjoys, and you can see him going forward with it.
Yeah,
And
online. Yeah.
and I'm wondering, and that was my question. Really, what I'm wondering is like, where do you guys like? Where are you guys going with
Do you think this is
You're
our
obviously
fucking job?
talented at this. Like, is this going to be is this what you're going to do with your life, or is this just going to be a hobby?
Well, hang on. Before you answer this shit, hang on, Chow. Before you answer this, hey, Shmuley, do you think Rocco, or where the fuck his name is, whatever his name is that his main job? Does he make this his living?
No,
Podcasting?
no. But I
What's
do
he
think that
doing?
if he could, he would.
Okay. Okay. That's it then, man. It's not our livings, old man.
Yeah, and he's
You keep saying-
deep in the game. You know, he's
Yeah.
analyzing all this stuff. He's like, I like what this guy's doing. It's impressive, and the fans are liking it. They're putting money in. Okay, where's this one gonna go? Because that's a big.
I know,
component
he's
of all this. It's
hating. He's
competitive
hating.
too. So I think he's just like he's deep in the game of like. Well,
So I know. I
Yeah.
think I'm deep. Did you say I'm deep in the game of life?
It says you're talented.
the game of life and the game of dad.
on
bro.
talent.
I
On
am, and
talent.
probably too much. You know.
What do you
And
think
as
we
my
should
wife
end it right
says, I'm the
now?
girl in the relationship. 'cause
Yeah,
I'm in
you're like
touch
the
with my
bitch who speaks too
emotions.
much. What should we do?
You asked me to come on, man.
Yeah. You're the
I mean, I can
female-
stop. It's fine.
No, I want you to speak. Should we
I
quit the
wanted
show
to,
right
but
now?
you
Should we
but
end
I'm
it?
asking questions, and you know,
Should Mir Musk
all you're
end right
doing
now?
is you're deflecting, and you act.
No, I'm not deflecting. I'm asking you,
questions,
motherfucker.
and you're
Don't spin
acting
this
like
on me,
you're
you
offended.
Jew.
When you said I was triggered before, this is what I asked you about your future, and that seems to trigger you.
What's
So
the
I'm
future
just
of
asking the
this?
question.
Here's the future, mate. There's no financial issues with this. We're just having fun with it. Some shows will have fucking 100. Sometimes we'll have fucking 20 people. It doesn't matter who. It depends on the guest. So my thing is to you, should we end the show or not? That's up to you, because you seem very adamant that you care about this show.
No,
You seem very aggressive towards
part
you
of
know,
part
what do you
of
want?
my
What should we do,
part of
sir?
my failing
What should we do?
is that I care too much about too many of the people that I've met, but I'm also interested. I'm interested in where people are going, you know?
Right.
And that's really all I'm asking you is, you know, the Marie Kondo question, does this give you joy?
Yeah, of course.
And how do you how do you foresee maintaining that joy? Because that's one of my issues has always been I get really excited to do something. I
Right.
do something for a period of time, and then it falls off and I want to move on to something else.
That's sad.
Well, that's common.
No, it is
Right.
common. I get it. I think the biggest joy is just talking to somebody new and learning something from them.
And Mir, we should it's really he brought up a good question. We should
What's that?
do a little goal setting ourselves. Maybe
We should. I do agree with
Yeah.
that. It does take
can-
time to set goal setting. Yeah, you always have to have it. Of course.
take this to
Yeah,
the
and you
next
don't
level.
and you don't have to reach them. I mean, that's not
Of course.
no, but the thing is you got to be look, it's the whole, you know, stupid thing. Like if you want to move a battleship, right? It goes like tiny little degrees and you go a step at a time. And it's like if
Right.
you want to go somewhere, you have to kind of walk towards that thing. You don't want to be Joey C and just new idea and keep going in a circle, you know? So really that was all that I
Would
was
you be
asking.
down to do like a 2-person, one like 3 mic podcast? All of the 3 of us interviewing somebody?
Yes, sure.
Where
If we
really?
could put it together, you know,
So
if we did
you
it like
be
once-
down to like work
one-
with Chow and
once
I
a
once a
month.
week, once a
I'm
month?
trying to redeem you guys because you've got
Yeah.
such a bad reputation.
What a bad reputation. I thought we were
So-
brilliant.
That's
Huh?
not a bad idea. We can work Buckman into
Let's work
something.
Buckman is something where you can like
and he
help.
could help us a lot.
You can spread your jewelry and do like what we.
Yeah.
By the time this is over with, I'm gonna turn you into a fucking pinko.
The
liberal.
ADF, I get it, buddy. Anyway,
All right, guys.
let's end this now. Anyway, before we get canceled by the Jews, I love everyone here in the chat. Mr. Schmuel Buckman.
If
You
it weren't
honestly
for
have
the
tossed-
Jews, you wouldn't be able to do this. But go ahead.
That is true. That you know what? I swear to Christ, that is true. Everyone respect your Judaism.
Hey, man, they all complain about the Jews till they need a doctor or a lawyer.
Boom. I like that. I like that. I like that.
I'm bailing, guys. So, because otherwise we'll be here
All
all
right.
night. So
Yeah,
kick me
go ahead.
out. And,
Thanks, Buckman.
You guys finish it up.
Mr.
Thanks,
Buckman, you're
guys.
good.
Appreciate
All right,
you.
bye.
Thank you, sir.
Peace, buddy.
The great Schmuel Buckman. Dude,
Right.
what'd you think, man? He's a good
I
guest,
think he's
bro.
tough. I love that.
Yeah, he
I haven't seen a guest in a long time that I actually could like, I don't know, like have discourse with. Even when I'm fucked up, they can still like run with it and not tweak out. I love that. He's a legend. He always will be a legend, and everyone's going to respect that. And Chow,
Yeah.
thank you again.
And I know we don't really do plugs or anything, but he does the show
No.
too. So if you want to see his shit, see more of him, you can see him there. So
Yeah.
till next time, Mir.
Next time, buddy. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.